Welcome ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and this is host King Charlie on this side। और आज आप सबका स्वागत है दोबारा से, क्योंकि डे 4 कल मैं कर नहीं पाया, इंटरनेट में इशू चल रहे थे। आई हैड अ लॉट ऑफ ट्रबल्स कमिंग अप विद ऑल द इंटरनेट प्रॉब्लम्स एंड एवरीथिंग, बट यस आज TNC वर्सेस जो डिजिटल क्योस, तो ये दोनों टीमों के बीच में इतना घमासान युद्ध होने वाला है, और जो कि देखने के लिए मैं बड़ा ही ज़्यादा उत्सुक हूँ और बड़ा ही ज़्यादा मतलब जो एक्साइटमेंट होती है ना वो कुछ कहने वाली है। और मैं यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा जो है स्विच ओवर करूँगा कि जो कि स्ट्रीम के ऊपर, जो कि लाइव स्ट्रीम चल रही है, ताकि आप सब भी देख सके कि क्या हो रहा है और क्या नहीं हो रहा, और उससे आप एक अच्छा अनुमान लगा सके। तो यस, लेट मी screen capture. Okay guys, so this is perfectly working fine, and yes, हम यहाँ पे देखते हैं आराम से जब तक कि लाइव स्ट्रीम चल रही है। So we'll follow it up and let's have
I like TNC.
I mean, I didn't even think they were going to beat OG. Nobody thought that, but they did that.
That's
so
true. You think they could beat DC, BD home?
I think anything is possible at this tournament.
All right.
Yeah,
okay, we're going to get more thoughts on this as well, because we're going to get into our first game today very shortly. But as I did say, the All-Stars match is one of those things we look forward to every year, and every year they have a different flavour, and there are plenty of memories. So let's dip back into the International Archive and go back in time to review all of the All-Stars matches that we've had over the years.
All-Star matches are always fun at TI. This is where, you know, everybody gets to have fun from players' perspective and fans' perspective.
Community could vote for players, and 10 players who would get most votes would play 5 against 5.
You really appreciate it, especially when you're not chosen, because then you remember it. It means more, right? It's just this good feeling that you know that you're appreciated.
能被邀请去那个打明星赛，其实我觉得就对自己来说就非常兴奋吧，因为我是一个明星。
很喜欢那个就是有写着我名字的那件 T 恤，然后但是我还是比较喜欢玩，不喜欢当 coach。就是很开心啊，就感觉他们穿了就那个衣服，就好像在支持我一样。
TI3 one, I guess, was the most memorable one, where Dandy, you know, ran around after he killed me.
I just had some fun, you know, trolling around.
Whatever, still won the match, easy.
Last year was crazy, like, because it was 10 against 10.
That was great. I had to pick one guy, and some other guy stood up, and it ended up in a rock, scissors, paper, you know. I felt bad for the guy, but at the same time, you know, everyone was having fun.
I think last year's All-Star match was by far like the best one.
For some reason, you have to sit here. Like, everybody else chose their own spots to sit. Something's going on here.
How confident are you in this team?
You know, sitting next to Dendy. Old times, you know?
You wish it were Dendy.
Isn't it?
When mask was pulled off, I was like shaking my head and went like, oh, I'm sorry, people around me, all in my sweat.
Opa Dendy.
It was amazing. They had a lot of fun.
所以当时我觉得娱乐的时候，我买圣剑，我还是要继续泉水去虐他们，然后啊，终于我虐了你们，但是输了那场游戏过后，竟然开心，但是又有点丢脸的感觉。
我对明星赛的印象，我觉得现在是做的越来越娱乐了，因为本来就大家不是为了输赢就做的越来越有趣了。
Of course you want to win it still, you know? You don't want to, you know, be the all-star team that loses.
The cheese awaits. Can't wait. It's going to be great.
All Stars great.
It's a lot of fun. It feels like a really community kind of vibe, you know. People get involved and have fun.
And like stuff happens, like they said with the rock paper scissors thing to decide. And it's just like relaxing. It's great. And then they time it just right because the last 2 days are so tense. I think it's great fun.
It's great fun.
I'm glad Mushi still feels bad though. I just want to say I was casting that All-Star match and I was backing his team. He lost me that game.
He did. Yeah. It's funny actually. Note was saying in the middle of that as well. He's like, but you still want to win. You don't want to lose.
Yeah,
everyone else is like, no, it's a fun. It's great to have entertainment. Note's like, but we still need to win.
I think the thing is that the pros see this as like, you know, they're naturally competitive, so they want to be able to win, but they want to win with style.
Yes.
You know, you want to totally just destroy them. You want to fountain farm them. You want to dance outside of the booth or whatever. You want to be able to win with the extra style points. That's how it goes.
Yeah, we've been looking for a few of those later on. We're going to get into our first game of the day. We're just waiting for the horn, of course. The horn will sound and tell us that we're ready for our first matches of the day. So we'll start talking about that one. TNC versus a team that we did not expect to get this far as well, DC. In the fact that they've ended up playing each other, is that I don't know, divine intervention? What is it, Charlie?
Who knows? There's lots of crazy stuff that's been happening at this tournament. Personally, I'm a little sad that one of these guys is going to get knocked out. I would have loved to see them go further and see how far they could have taken it. I mean, such great stories out of both of them. Nobody expected them to be here. Jimmy's story going from almost obscurity to top 8 TI is incredible.
Yeah, and being European, you must be really proud of DC doing well.
You asking me or Cap? Oh, Cap, because he's European now.
I'll have you know they have Boo on their team. And they came from the American region, so by God, they're American.
Right, okay. Yeah, there's that misery guy.
Pound your chest, dude. Pound your chest. Just go full Nahaz. USA! USA!
Nice.
Yeah, that misery guy. Yeah, good American.
Very good. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, after all the burgers that Suns fans been feeding them, they damn well better.
They've had to live that style now. They've all put on a couple of pounds, I think.
That's the new esports regime for that, is that everyone has got a fitness gurus and psychologists. Suns fans just bringing in the burgers.
Hey, they've done better than most of the other European teams here.
Whoa, careful, Charlie. We've still got liquid down there.
Charles.
Yeah, down there.
Down there. Hey.
That's okay. We're still alive.
The truly sad thing about this matchup is the fact that if you look at, despite the fact that we have all these former TI players and like in EG, you have Wings, MVP Phoenix, and eHome, 3 teams that I would say we kind of pictured as like dark horses in some ways, where we expected them to be able to provide upsets, and now they're dominating the upper bracket, right? But you look at the other teams, like TNC and Digital Chaos are like truly the underdogs. The other teams we had ideas about and figured they would do well, top 8, top 6. These 2 teams, though, I think most people looked at them as being bottom 8, and they're truly the underdogs, and it just is so unfortunate that they have to, knock one or the other out.
Yeah. Ted, what are your thoughts on this one?
I think, honestly, neither of them plays like an underdog. Do you know what I mean? Like, they play like with confidence, and they pick well, and they're aggressive, and it's exciting, and that's not what I expected. I really didn't. In the group stages, I was like, well, you've got to have like a certain number of teams and everything, but they were not making up the numbers. Neither of these teams. There's some fantastic performances out of individuals as well.
That's what happens when you continually progress through the tournament. You gain confidence, and these 2 teams in particular have really adapted well to the meta. You see TNC have been picking a lot of Illusion heroes. They love their Shadow Demon. They love, they've been behind in so many of the games, but their late game is just so superior because they draft for it. They understand, hey, TB is really strong. Phantom Lantern, Naga, Shadow Demon, Juggernaut. Like, they utilize their cores really well to be able to take that late game. DC as well played really well around Resolution. Wheeze Alchemist, Marana, Morphling. These are teams that are understanding the meta and how to play it.
Key players for both sides. We would have to stand out, I guess, for DC. I think he's had a fantastic tournament, Cap.
Absolutely. I think that the big thing is that both of these teams will perform really well in the late game, and in particular, the late game seems to be banked more on individual performance, I would say, when a certain player is able to barely escape, that attempted gank, or is able to get that clutch kill. That makes all the difference in the super late game, where one death can lose you the game, right? So I think that this matchup is particularly interesting if we go that late, because there are so many playmakers, right? Weehan, Resolution, I would look to for Digital Chaos. Moo's been stepping up his game, but I still think those former 2 are really the ones you look to. While TNC, I mean, Raven, I think, has been really impressive.
Has been great.
I like that guy a lot. I think that guy has a very bright future.
Definitely.
It's funny because Demon would probably stand out in this team because of his past and his experience and everything else and what he's lent them, and maybe he's just given them that little extra edge that they needed after just narrowly failing to qualify for Manila before and some of the other tournaments. But he's not necessarily been the star player, has he?
Yeah, and in the past, Jimmy's always been the flashier player. He's always been the guy that stands out. You know what he's doing now? He's playing 5.
Yeah.
He's warding. He's playing like Dazzle and just like playing that sacrificial role. And that's not been the Jimmy that we knew when he was on EG. He was always like buying Midas on Tidehunter, buying double Blink buying Blink Dagger on Quap. Like, he's completely different than who he was before. He's not about the media attention. I saw him earlier after they beat OG, and you know they asked him to do an interview thing, and he shied away from the camera. Jimmy did not want to be in front of the camera.
I don't believe you. I do not believe you.
And this is what the beautiful thing is about Dota, because we have such a rich history. You get to see some of these players grow from playing as a teenager and going into young adulthood. And the amazing thing is you've actually got 2 players that I would say have matured a lot. Misery and Demon. I think both are known for having some rocky past, having maybe some attitude issues. They're both star players in their own rights, but I think they both matured and put themselves in a position, that sacrificial role that Charlie's talking about, to enable their teammates.
Ted, who have you enjoyed watching out of these players in both teams?
I agree. I think Raven's been brilliant. I've really enjoyed watching Wii. I mean, I like those players that just seem to be able to do something a little special. I mean,
just a little bit
just
off.
something where you just haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
And you think, oh wow, I never thought of that. So I like that. I mean, Weeha is probably one of my favorite players in the tournament. I think he's been absolutely brilliant. So I'm really looking forward to watching him.
Yeah. And in terms of TNC, you mentioned Raven, but
yeah,
they seem to have pulled together, haven't they?
Well,
Jimmy maybe has added that little bit of gel. Maybe
we were watching the game, the TNC game against, I guess it was OG, and they were just so disciplined. And I thought, would you have taken a wildcard team, or a less fancy team a few years ago and expected them to put that kind of performance in? And I don't think you would. I think that all these teams have got this discipline, have got this focus, and they're all on the same page, and they've got this strategy agreed. You can just tell they're all working super hard, and it comes through absolutely in the performances.
Yeah, it's a great point, isn't it, Charlie? We came into this tournament thinking there might be 4 or 5 that you could put in the favourite bracket in terms of who might win the whole thing, but there were potentially 5 or 6 even outside that. You'd think they have an outside chance and a realistic outside chance, but actually we could go all the way into the wild cards here.
There are no favorites in this tournament. Your gods are dead.
Oh my God! What a cheerful morning thought. Your gods are dead. I'm Charlie. Welcome to Dota.
Yeah, like there's a positive way to spin that. Like, everybody's amazing. Charlie's like, your hopes and dreams are all dying.
I got to counteract the pink shirt somehow.
They're all crushed. Brilliant. Yeah, I love it. It's good having you 2 over there, because I feel like we've balanced the force has been balanced.
Yeah.
Don't go to the dark side. Okay?
Just don't call him
remember
European
Manila?
again.
I was the dark side, but then you see me contrasted with Charlie, and you see just how deep the rabbit hole really goes.
Indeed. How many more film references can we get in? So as we look forward to this, so the horn is moments away, and we'll start talking into the game depths themselves. In terms of the hero pools, we haven't really talked too much about that in the opening today. 104 heroes picked or banned. I mean, that's crazy. Are we going to see that increase?
We're not seeing Jakiro, Paul.
God damn it.
Every day you call for Jakiro. It's not going to happen.
Listen, I was talking to some people backstage.
I went to the secret shop. I went to the secret shop yesterday and bought Jakiro just because I've had enough now. I'm not going to sit in the frame, so I'm going to buy it out of the
That's as close
shop.
as you're going to get. I think we're agreed on that. I've yet to talk to a single person who thinks, man, why is no one picking Jakiro?
And that's why I needed Alliance to stay in. There it is.
Saving grace, Paul.
There it is.
Before you go off on a diatribe about Jakiro again.
Indeed. All right, okay, we're going to get into our first game of the day very shortly. But before we do that, before the tournament, of course, Casey catches up with all the lead players and talks to the captains about their hopes and dreams as they head into the international. It was no different for TNC when she caught up with Demon.
When we first sat down, you were eyeing this quite a bit.
Yeah.
What does this signify to you? If this is something that you get to hoist over your shoulders at the end of all of this, what would that mean to you?
It's the glorification of every player's dream, my dream, and it's just growing up with my parents always screaming at me, you're wasting your time, and this would just prove like at the end of the day, it was all worth it.
How did that feel to finally get validation from them?
It meant so much. I mean, I remember back in the days, it's like every morning my dad would walk, because before he goes to work, he has to walk by my room and my door would always be open. And he would tell me, it's like, go to school, you're wasting your time every single morning, because he thought it'd just be all in fun and, you know, go back to school. There's no money in this, and that was just an eye-opener for everyone. And they came to realization, like, okay, like, just do what you want as long as you're happy and you can make a sustainable career for yourself. That moment when he told me, I'm so proud of you, it said a lot.
You're known for your high-risk, high-reward style of play. How did that fit into this team?
That happened because of the cockiness, meaning, like, I was capable of doing this kind of stuff because, of course, back then my individual skill would be higher than others, and I would take these unnecessary risks and do some unorthodox things. I don't implement these high risk anymore. It's just when we make these actions, we do it as a team, and we learn as a team, and we grow as a team.
Can you even imagine what it's going to be like to walk on that stage and hear Key Arena cheer for you guys for the first time?
I mean, I got a little goosebumps right now just saying that. I can just hear the crowd roaring. I mean, being at TI5 last year, I flew over, and it was a really depressing feeling, but at the same time a very gratifying feeling. The fact, you know, my friends, especially, you know, Universe and Fear, I've known them for the longest time, and I was so proud of them and happy for them, you know, former teammates of mine doing so well. And then MVP Phoenix as well, it was top 6. And
They did so much better than anyone anticipated.
Yeah, I'll still remember, like, March told me, because he invited me to play for them at TI5 and to move out to Korea if I'm still interested to play qualifiers. And he's like, he just bagged on me after he did so. I was like, I told you you should have came. And I was like, wow. Like, ouch. Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that if you hadn't been able to make it on a team heading to TI6, that you were looking at maybe hanging it all up. Why were you that close to calling it a day?
It's been 3 years since I got kicked off Evil Geniuses in July 2013. I almost gave up so many times because the reputation and the name that I once had, and, you know, from 2011 to 2013, even before then, like in Dota 1 days, it was just been declining over time just because of, like, a couple mistakes, and it carried on. And having this opportunity, I feel really blessed with TNC now. One more opportunity, and I had it, and I had to seize it.
Has it affected your nerves at all? I mean, we're talking about comfort level, and you mentioned back in TI1, there weren't nearly as many eyes on the Dota scene as there are now. Now that there are more and more people watching, does that kind of give you more encouragement, and is it more exciting, or does it impact how nervous you are now that there's a little bit more pressure?
I think there will always be that kind of pressure. I've actually never played in such a big crowd. I mean, I've been out of the scene for quite some time. I hope we can push through it. Like, the fact that over 15,000 people are going to be watching and screaming at us, it's really something, okay? And I'm not saying there aren't any nerves, no matter what. It's like these many eyes are actually watching, and I feel like just like anyone else, I'm a normal person, and I have all these people cheering for us, and it's going to be something amazing for us.
Demon there with his teammates. They're ready backstage, so we'll get them out into the Key Arena for game 1 of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, this is TNC. So TNC getting themselves ready for the first series of the day. In the lower bracket, guaranteed top 8 already, but just one series away from guaranteeing a top 6 finish at the International 2016. Their opponents, there's been argument over whether they're European or American. All we know is they've come all the way through to the top 8 for the first time in Misery's career. They are DC. Gents, I'd have to say to you all that heading into this game, you'd think, well, Key Arena is just going to light up for DC in support, but I don't want to underestimate TNC's support here, because they've really built a good fan base over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Hey, there's one American on both teams.
Yeah.
I think
a split decision then.
If you look at it, it's probably like TNC should be favored just simply because of the opponents that they defeated, specifically OG, to get here.
Yeah.
Right, Digital Chaos had to go through the fall from the upper bracket, didn't prove themselves against those teams while TNC did. It seems like, despite the fact that open qualifier team going through all of that, they are actually, I think, favored here against Digital Chaos.
Why?
And that's so hard to say.
Other than beating OG, which is a magnificent achievement, and we've already said that this week, why in particular do you feel TNC are stronger?
I think that maybe it's something special. I mean, I guess both teams have it, the really experienced player with malleable, younger players, new blood. He's able to commit them to a certain kind of vision. But I felt like I saw more of that coordination, more of that vision from TNC. The patience of waiting for those team fights, not to make that jump. I can't see Digital Chaos with the same kind of pause.
Okay.
Someone would have made the jump. Someone would have said, I've seen it. I found my opening. I'm going. Where I think TNC are fully committed to each other.
A bit more psychologically linked, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing specific I can really point to.
I was going to ask, is it more like a gut feeling that you've got for this rather than any analytical feeling?
I mean, that's my gut feeling for why TNC are better as a team, but I don't know. I'm really torn on this one. I thought about my matches yesterday, predictions.
Do you
there.
want a
I thought
coin
about
from
those
Charlie?
a lot.
Do you want a coin?
That coin is cursed.
Oh, is it?
Coin.
Okay.
No, I believe in myself. The coin, the explosion, those are awful.
I think the key part of this match here is going to be how well does DC read TNC's playstyle. I think they have a very clear pattern of how they're beating these teams. It goes very late. They pick heroes like Huskar, Naga, whatever, to take it really, really late and split push with illusions. I think DC has to make sure that they secure that late game. Make sure that they can deal with whatever TNC eventually throws at them. I think DC should win the early game. They've been doing much better about that lately. In the past, they've had a lot of trouble winning lanes, securing the early game, and then transitioning to a great mid game. And they were generally considered much stronger in the late game with, farm cores and resolution. But they've really shored up their weaknesses. That weakness, and I think if they read TNC and deal with whatever late game cores they have, I do favor DC.
Okay. Ted,
maybe match start on TNC versus
TNC in the way that they've played through this tournament. Excitement that they've brought you. Do you still feel it for this game?
I do. I really like them. I like their reaction when they seemed totally together. You just fell for them as a team. You just thought, man, I really want these guys to go far. You can tell how much it means. It doesn't mean it means less to DC. But there's something appealing about showing it the way they did. So yeah, I really like TNC, but I was chatting to some of the DC guys. And, they're really nice. They're all really nice guys. So I think I'd have to go with just based on that reaction from when TNC beat OG. I'd have to say TNC to do it.
Again, is that more head over heart or heart over head?
Heart way over head.
Yeah. Leaking. Yeah, we don't want to do that.
There's not much in there.
I was waiting for Charlie to say that. I'm surprised you didn't jump in.
I mean, that's like low-hanging fruit.
Yeah,
okay.
Charlie does
too easy. Charlie likes a challenge.
Yeah.
Challenge. Okay. So fairly divided opinions in terms of who's got the strengths, who's got the weaknesses.
It's
and
super even.
Yeah, and is that representative? Do you think does everyone look at this and think, actually, how do you pick these two apart?
I mean, I think that's how you look at this entire tournament.
You're not wrong. Has been crazy, isn't it? With all the different results.
Honestly, the draft is going to tell a huge amount. And I think if one team gets seriously screwed over in the draft, then could be the deciding factor. Because other than that, I mean, I can't honestly choose between them.
Hasn't been too many of those games, though, has there? I mean, we had the Pudge Techies, which was obviously not a good idea in the end. But at the same time, we haven't had too many of those where a draft has really been decisive. We've had a couple where you look at it and go, okay, that's a small advantage, but the other team have then won. Which just goes to show that the meta is so balanced right now, not just in terms of hero pool, but in the way that different styles can clash and maybe change the way that a draft has come out.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about like, oh, the skill gap is closing, but so is the team fight coordination that teams employ within the game, and so is the strategy. everyone, especially since we're playing against each other internationally so much now with the major system and all these other international tournaments as well, and the prize pool is so large, so everyone's fully committed to this. They want to be able to expose themselves to as many kind of play styles. They're studying all these kind of games, and thinking on that, I actually may be choosing Digital Chaos to be able to win this, because I think they may have the slight strategic edge. Even if the teamfight coordination may be better from TNC, I think Digital Chaos will have the advantage in the draft. I think they'll have the advantage when it comes to in-game strategy. And part of that is probably some of their back line. They've got Misery to be able to, he's got so much experience, but then they've also got their coaches. You know, Pycat's obviously a seasoned veteran who's going to be able to provide a lot of insight into what exactly TNC are providing. They've even got a good analyst in Loomdom. So I think they actually have... they will have studied for this game. I think they're going to be prepared for what TNC are doing. Even if TNC is a bit versatile in their picks, I think there's something to be read about their playstyle. And Digital Chaos, I think they'll dismantle that. And I think if this game goes late, they may even have an edge solely in the experienced players and the playmakers that they have in Weehan and Resolution.
Okay, a little bit of history here. TI1. Do you remember who the top 4 team were?
Na'Vi.
Just one of them.
E-Home.
The Southeast Asian teams.
If I said MYN, was that top 4? TI1?
No, that
was it?
No.
Shall I check on the internet?
Ted, check on the internet.
I mean, that was more like around
Was
with
it
you
Scythe?
guys.
Yeah.
Was it Scythe?
Scythe. I think they were third.
Is it?
Na'Vi beat eHome 2-1 in the final. Oh god, it's moved. Scythe Gaming lost 2-0 to Na'Vi in the winners final.
Okay.
eHome.
And then they dropped
decided
out
the losers.
immediately afterwards.
MYM came. Wait. Yeah, they came 4th.
Oh, they did? Wow.
Yeah.
I thought they were like...
Losers round 5.
Was Misery on MYM?
And there were 2 players on that team that are playing in this match.
Misery and Demon.
What goes around comes around. Sorry, that was kind of a weird thing, wasn't it? That,
no, all right. I get it.
We went around the houses a little bit there, but we got there at the end. Yeah,
No,
I mean,
I get you.
you know, 2 old veterans coming back and, you know, playing for big money in a major international tournament and playing in front of each other, against each other, albeit in very different circumstances and positions than they were 5 years ago.
Very, very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
I think...
but they've matured in very much the same way. Both of them used to be very hot-headed people, and now much calmer captains of their team. Very impressive. I'm very proud of these guys.
I mean, Charlie knows this better than probably most others about the growth of a player, because he obviously witnessed it firsthand. But I think in some way we all get to see it as we continually watch the international and watch this competitive stage. People, because Dota is such a teamwork-focused game, and because it's not just about individual performers, and that's really what makes a lot of Dota so beautiful, is that you have to work together with others. You actually do need to be able to resolve some of those personal problems that you have that makes you, for lack of no other word, than toxic to others.
Yeah, the team's employing people to help them with that as well now.
I mean, we've talked a lot about Misery and Demon and the cores. I do want to highlight Saxa a lot. His support play has actually been phenomenal throughout this tournament. When he first came into the scene, relatively unknown, but I hate giving credit to Bulba all the time and like his inventions, but it was actually Bulba and AUI that really picked that guy out.
Yeah, he's been great, and I know he's been great because my fantasy points have been fantastic whenever I've picked him. Every single time he's brought me good fantasy. I've got a gold Saxa, and I'm loving the fact that he plays the Wyvern. We've got about 30 seconds, so we'll go down the row for full predictions. Charlie?
DC 2-1.
Okay.
I think that this will go heavily one way or the other. It's just really hard to tell which one. So I think it's going to be 2-0, and I'm going to say DC.
Okay, 2 for DC.
TNC 2-1.
Okay. Very, very difficult predictions here on the panel as we head back down to our Coddle gang for draft number 1.
Okay, people, it's time that we get into the draft with KingCharlie, and it's gonna be really exciting. काफी मजा आने वाला है इस गेम को देख के. So we'll hope It's quite exciting, it's quite unique, and we get a piece of each and every team because there's Puta Ginamo on the line. And काफ़ी ज़्यादा मज़ा आएगा, रोमांचदार स्थिति रहेगी यहाँ पे, और ड्राफ्ट को आगे डिस्कस करेंगे, साथ ही साथ किंग चार्ली के मज़ा आने वाला काफ़ी ज़्यादा, तो बने रहिए यहाँ पे. यस, we'll be having a great time. And I don't know, like stream सबके लिए perfectly fine चल रही है, I guess so. Yes, nobody's having any issues, man, right? Okay. We'll get back into the game, जो कि है हमारी TNC versus Digital Chaos. Yes, let's go. It's the first load and it takes a lot of time actually. तो आने देते, लोड होने देते, then we'll get into it. Okay guys, we are in this game और यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी इतनी सारी पिक्स और बैन हो चुकी है. वाओ, काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग बना दिया बैन ने ये डिज़ाइन देके, एंड इट्स लुक्स रियली कूल. जो कि ये नीचे लाइटिंग करके ऐसे करके ड्राफ्ट हो रहा है, और वो जो डोटा के साइन के ऊपर काफ़ी अच्छा इफेक्ट आ रहा है. बट यहाँ पे ड्राफ्ट को डिस्कस करें, फिर से आयो यहाँ पे बैन दिए, और साथ ही साथ एल्डर टाइटन. और क्योंकि पता है कि टीएनसी कितना अच्छा हस्कर रन करती है, और वो हस्कर को बैन देते हुए यहाँ पे आगे ड्राफ्ट को आगे लेके जाते हुए स्टॉर्म स्पिरिट को बैन दिया, और पिक होने से पहले ओ माय गॉड जो एक ग्लिटरिंग इफेक्ट आ रहा है वेल्व की साइड से, माय गॉड दिस इज ऑसम. और अभी जो मेरे ख्याल से एक मैच होने वाला है, ऑल स्टार मैच भी होएगा आज, काफ़ी ज़्यादा एक्साइटिंग है. तो ऑल स्टार मैच जो कि देखने का मज़ा ही कुछ होता है, जो कि स्ट्रीम पे होता है. लाइक इट्स सो एक्साइटिंग, इट्स सो अनोइंग. और मेरे ख्याल से सबसे लास्ट मैच होएगा आज की दिन का, या मे बी शायद मिडल ऑफ एनीथिंग आफ्टर 2 सीरीज होगा. हू नोस कब टाइम मिले. मगर यहाँ पे पिक से ऊपर आते फिर से ड्रो रेंजर का स्टैट आता हो, तो ड्रो रेंजर फिर से दोबारा पिक होती है. वेंजफुल स्पिरिट हम जाते हैं क्योंकि मैजिक मिसाइल कनेक्ट करना, ऊपर से वे ऑफ टेरर का प्रयोग करके जो वेंजफुल ऑरा के साथ, जो कि 113 बिल्ड देखते हैं ड्रो रेंजर के साथ, तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा जल्दी पुश इन करती है, काफ़ी ज़्यादा हेफ्टी अमाउंट ऑफ डैमेज देती हैं. और डैमेज के साथ ही साथ जो पुश करने का जो एक उनका एक जो स्ट्रैट होता है, ओ टस्कर यहाँ पे होली क्रैप कॉम्बो लेकर आते हुए कीपर ऑफ द लाइट माना लगा दी. टस्क पीछे स्नोबॉल करके आते हुए पीछे वॉल्डर्स पंच कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, और वहाँ पे साथ ही साथ नागा सायरन है, और नागा सायरन के साथ जो कि हम जानते हैं अपना रिपटाइड कनेक्ट करना, ऊपर से इंस्नेयर करके सॉन्ग ऑफ द सायरन के साथ काफ़ी ज़्यादा मैं कहूँगा हेफ्टी अमाउंट में डैमेज दे सकती हैं. तो ये अब देखना है कि कितना ज़्यादा उसको आगे फॉलो अप कर पाएंगे, कितना ज़्यादा आगे उसको कैलिब्रेट करेंगी. बट अभी के लिए यहाँ पर जो है मिराना बैन, शैडो डीमन बैन, इन्वोकर बैन दिए गए हैं, और साथ ही साथ एक्सो बैन दिए. बेड सेकंड कॉल लगा के काफ़ी ज़्यादा मैं कहूँगा डैमेज दे सकते हैं. तो ये अब देखना है कितना ज़्यादा उसको आगे फॉलो अप करते हैं. बट यहाँ अभी नागा साइलेंट फिर से कोर के लिए जाते हुए, और मेरे ख्याल से वी को खिलाना चाहेंगे. और वी को जब भी खिलाते हैं नागा साइलेंट तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा मैं कहूँगा या रेजोल्यूशन खेलेंगे तो वो पता लगेगा. बट टस्क का यहाँ पर आना स्नोबॉल करके आइस शार्ड, और ऊपर से अपनी जो सिजिल का प्रयोग करते हैं, रोशान लेने में काफ़ी ज़्यादा मदद करती है, काफ़ी ज़्यादा स्लो आउट कर देती है, विजन देने में काफ़ी हेल्प करती है. मगर अगर वो डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाए तो भी वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा गोल्ड भी देके जाती है एनिमी. तो यहाँ पे डैजल को बैन करते हो, पहले एक्स को बैन किया और सीधा डैजल ले लिए यहाँ पे. और डैजल लेने के साथ ही साथ बता दिए कि डैजल लेके जो है कितना ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट देना चाहेंगे, क्योंकि डैजल के साथ अब ग्रेव का अभी कोई तोड़ नहीं है अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि वेंजफुल स्पिरिट आती है, मैजिक मिसाइल कनेक्ट करेंगी, स्वॉप करके काफ़ी ज़्यादा डैमेज दे सकती है. बट येस अभी डैजल का पिक होना, पॉइजन टच करके, ऊपर से फ्रॉस्ट एरोज आपके पास है, काफ़ी ज़्यादा स्लो आउट कर सकते हैं. स्लो करने का काफ़ी ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम रहेगी. और लेन के अंदर जो शैडो वेव की मैं कहूँगा जो कि हील कर सकते हैं, और काफ़ी हील करने के साथ जो धीरे धीरे करके सस्टेन थ्रू करना, आगे पुशअप करना, वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा अच्छा रहेगा. तो मैं ये पहली सीरीज़ पूरी कवर करूँगा डिजिटल क्योस वर्सेस TNC. और ये मैच मैं कहूँगा जो एक्साइटमेंट इन दोनों टीमों को देखने का, इंटरनेशनल 1 पे दोनों टीमें जब आई थी एक दूसरे के सामने तो क्या प्ले रोमांच था. इंटरनेशनल 1 जो कि यहाँ पे जिसकी वीडियोस नहीं है, लाइक बहुत कम है, खाली एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री बनी हुई. बट येस इट ऑल स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम दैट साइड. और टिल डेट यहाँ पर मिजरी तो 6 साल से इंटरनेशनल में आ ही रहे हैं, और 6 साल से जब से इंटरनेशनल में आ रहे हैं हमेशा नई टीम को रिप्रेजेंट किया है. और एक दूसरा बंदा जो 6 साल से सारे इंटरनेशनल अटेंड कर रहा है, दैट इज डैंडी. तो यस यहाँ पे डैजल. और अभी जो बैन्स की अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं तो पिक के अंदर यहाँ पे काफ़ी कहूँगा अच्छा है. कीपर ऑफ द लाइट, अपना इल्यूमिनेट करके पुश आउट कर सकते हैं। साथ ही साथ जो नागा सायरन है अपना रिपटाइड का प्रयोग करके जो है माइनस आर्मर आपको देती है। माइनस आर्मर के साथ ही साथ आपके पास एक प्रवृत्ति होती है कि जल्दी जल्दी आप पुश आउट करें और उसको समाप्त करने की कोशिश होती है कि आप उसको आगे जल्दी लेके जा सके। और साथ ही साथ टस्क जो होते हैं स्नो बॉल करना, आई शार्ट को लगा के जो है समाप्त करने की कोशिश, काफ़ी ज़्यादा मैं कहूँगा पुश आउट रहता है। और बीस्ट मास्टर यहाँ पे लिए हैं तो फुल एक सबसे बड़ी चीज़ जो डिजिटल क्योस के यहाँ पे ड्राफ्ट में जा रही है, बड़े ज़्यादा लॉकडाउन है। और ये लॉकडाउन की बात कर रहा हूँ तो मेरे पे यहाँ पे काफ़ी डिफेंसिव स्ट्रेट है। विंडफुल स्पिरिट यहाँ पे स्वॉप करके बाहर निकाल सकती है, बचा सकती है उस देर के लिए, उस समय के लिए वहाँ से अपने सहयोगी टीममेट को बचा के बाहर निकालना और कोशिश करना कि हाँ जी आप उसको आगे कैसे कैपिटलाइज करेंगे। बट अभी के लिए बीस्ट मास्टर का आना, और हमने देखा है बोर कितना ज़्यादा डिस्टर्ब आउट करता है और जब भी गैंग करने के लिए आता है कितना ज़्यादा स्लो करते हैं। तो यहाँ पे बीस्ट मास्टर, और क्योंकि मैं कह रहा था एक लॉकडाउन चाहिए था, लॉकडाउन करके लेके आने के लिए और पकड़ने के लिए, अभी तक अपना मिड लेनर अभी तक चूज़ नहीं किया टीएनसी ने। और यहाँ मेरे को पता नहीं क्यों लग रहा है, मेरे को एक गट फीलिंग हो रही कि इन्वोकर पिकअप भी हो सकता है टीएनसी की साइड पे, क्योंकि बैट राइडर को यहाँ पे ऑफलाइन भेजने हैं, रो रेंजर को सेफ लेन, वेंटफुल स्पिरिट, डैजल को उनके साथ रखेंगे, पॉइजन टच के साथ, फ्रॉस्ट शैडो के साथ किल करने की कोशिश होगी काफ़ी ज़्यादा फॉलोअप करने के लिए। वहाँ पे बीस्ट मास्टर के पास हॉक है स्काउट आउट करने के लिए और साथ ही साथ बोर के साथ धीरे धीरे करके स्लो आउट करना। ऊपर से टस्क का फॉलोअप डैमेज इतना ज़्यादा है और जब वॉल्डर स्पंज कनेक्ट होगा उसका जो क्रिट डैमेज आता है काफ़ी ज़्यादा जल्दी शट डाउन कर सकते हैं। तो यहाँ एल्केमिस्ट को फाइनल बैन देते हुए तो एक और रिस्पेक्ट के बैन के, हाँ जी एल्केमिस्ट ना ले लें मिड लेन पे, क्योंकि एल्केमिस्ट अगर ले लेती है यहाँ पे टीएनसी ले लेती तो भी नहीं पता लगता कि क्या कितना ज़्यादा वो केमिकल रेट के साथ कितना ज़्यादा हैरेस आउट होता, कितना ज़्यादा पोटेंशली डैमेज डिश आउट करते। तो ये बताना काफ़ी ज़्यादा मुश्किल है एसिड स्प्रे के अंदर, क्योंकि एल्केमिस्ट तो बट यहाँ पे अभी हालांकि आया नहीं, मगर बैट राइडर का यहाँ पे लेकर आना, ब्लिंक, डैगर और काफ़ी ज़्यादा जल्दी कोशिश करनी होगी इनको फोर्स आउट लेकर आने के लिए। क्योंकि अभी मैं कहूँगा एक सोल मात्र जो कि अपना आगे इनिशिएटर जो कि सबसे बड़े टीएनसी की साइड पर अभी तक बैट राइडर दिख रही है, क्योंकि ड्रो रेंजर जाके इनिशिएट नहीं कर सकती। वेंजफुल स्पिरिट का आप स्वॉप रखेंगे कि अपने आप को बचा सकेंगे, क्योंकि 20 मार्च में अगर रोर कनेक्ट कर दी या नागा सायरन का इंस्नेयर लग गया या टस्क आ रहे हैं आपके ऊपर स्नोबॉल करके, तो आप स्वॉप करके ड्रो रेंजर को बचाने की पूरी पूरी कोशिश करेंगे। और यहाँ पे जैसे कह रहा था कि थोड़ा सा इवेड आउट जैसे चाहिए, तो मॉर्फलिंग यहाँ पे पिकअप किए हैं, वेव अपनी वेव फॉर्म करके जाएंगे फटाफट और एडेप्टिव स्ट्राइक का प्रयोग करके जो है आगे सस्टेन थ्रू करना। तो अपने आप को स्ट्रेंथ और एजिलिटी में कैसे परिवर्तित करना है। तो मिड लेन पे मॉर्फलिंग, और अभी तक डिजिटल क्योस ने अपना मिड लेनर जो है रिवील नहीं किया। हमें क्वीन ऑफ पेन कुछ ऐसा हीरो चाहिए जो कि काफ़ी ज़्यादा जल्दी स्नोबॉल कर सके और जिससे आगे, और ड्रैगन नाइट यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा टैंक, ऑलरेडी मेरे ख्याल से बीच मास्टर काफ़ी ज़्यादा टैंकी थे, बट ये ड्रैगन नाइट यहाँ पर आते हुए तो ड्रैगन टेल स्टन, ड्रैगन फॉर्म के साथ ड्रैगन ब्रेथ, कितना ज़्यादा पुश लाइनअप आता हुआ डिजिटल क्योस का। और इसके अतिरिक्त मैं कहूँ कि अगर पुश की अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं रोकने के लिए, मॉर्फलिंग काफ़ी ज़्यादा केपेबल तो है उसको रोकने के लिए। और ये कुछ क्लाइंट का समथिंग कुछ हुआ, विल गेट बैक, क्लाइंट डेल्टा टिक्स आउट ऑफ ऑर्डर। अब ये आई डोंट नो व्हाट इज दिस is something particularly new। तो yes, we are getting into the game people, और यहाँ पे काफ़ी मज़ा आने वाला है क्योंकि ये दोनों टीमों की हिस्ट्री जो है वो जाती है बिल्कुल बैक ओल्ड एजेस से, जहाँ पर ये दोनों टीमें एक दूसरे के साथ पहले जो है एक दूसरे के साथ जूझ चुकी हैं, एक दूसरे के साथ भिड़ चुकी हैं। और अभी यहाँ से जो अब पता लगेगा कि कौन किसके ऊपर कितना ज़्यादा हावी होएगा, कौन किसके ऊपर कितना आगे कैपिटलाइज करेगा। तो टीम विद मोस्ट रूम पिक्ड अप, क्योंकि मॉर्फलिंग है यहाँ पर। और तो ओके, डोटा क्रैश, वाओ नाइस, जीजी डोटा क्रैश, वाओ। Whenever it's time to predict this Dota crashes. Hello, what's up Chetan, what's up Nikhil? एक सेकंड guys, 1 second, Dota crash. I'm getting into the game. अभी तक मैंने अपने वेजर भी नहीं किए इस हफ्ते। ओके, आई गेस आई विल मिस टाइम। 1 मिनट हो जाएगा जब तक मैं कनेक्ट करूँगा। आई गेस आई हैव अ लॉट ऑफ लेस टाइम। आई होप आई कनेक्ट क्विकली बैक। Come on. Okay. Okay, team with the most picked up runes is gonna be TNC because yes, Morphling है। I don't. How long will the game be? Morphling के साथ ही game lead जा सकती है Dragon Knight Naga Siren, so it's gonna be somewhere from 44 to 60 minutes. Naga Siren comes online by that time. total number of teleports cancelled by stun by 25 minutes. So I guess can be one which team will win. I guess TNC. तो मैं TNC को करूँगा फेवर, क्योंकि इस टीम की जो बात कहने वाली है, कहाँ से आके फॉलो अप किया इन्होंने, मगर डिजिटल क्रॉस हैज अ स्ट्रॉन्ग ड्राफ्ट टू, तो मोस्ट रून्स पिक्ड अप। तो ये दोनों टीमों के पास, क्योंकि मॉर्फलिंग है, मॉर्फलिंग को मैं ज़्यादा इसलिए दूंगा प्रेफरेंस क्योंकि वेव फॉर्म करके काफ़ी ज़्यादा जल्दी जा सकते हैं और रून्स को कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं, बट यहाँ पे स्टॉप करके आते हुए तो नागा साइरेंट ड्रैगन नाइट काफ़ी ज़्यादा लेट गेम दोनों टीमों के पास, और किसके ऊपर कितना ज़्यादा चीज़ मुतासर करेगी वो तो वक्त बताएगा। बट अभी के लिए मिड लेन थोड़ा सा गलती होगी यहाँ पे वी पे, और वी से यहाँ पे आके ड्रैगन ब्रेथ का इस्तेमाल करें, ड्रैगन ब्रेथ का इस्तेमाल करने के साथ ही साथ यहाँ पे टैंगो का इस्तेमाल करेंगे, मगर टस्क आए हैं यहाँ पर, और टस्क आके थोड़ा सा अभी किसी स्किल पॉइंट में पॉइंट नहीं डाला, और यहाँ पे आके थोड़ा सा हेरेस आउट करने की कोशिश, मगर सैल मंगवाए हैं यहाँ पे, और सैल काफ़ी ज़्यादा रीजन है मॉर्फलिंग के पास, अपना टैंगो इस्तेमाल किया फटाफट, और इस्तेमाल करने के साथ ही यहाँ पे आई चार्ट का प्रयोग करते हुए ब्लॉक करने की कोशिश कुकू को, और मजबूरन पता कि क्योंकि स्ट्रेंथ और एजिलिटी में पॉइंट डाला है, और देखिए आधी से कम एचपी कर दी ऑलरेडी मिड लेन पे, तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा हेरेस आउट करेंगे मिड लेन पे, प्लस यहाँ पर आके धीरे धीरे करके थोड़ा सा पुश आउट करने की कोशिश, मगर रेजोल्यूशन यहाँ पे फार्म कर रहे हैं, और रेजोल्यूशन कितना ज़्यादा आगे उसको मोमेंटम को लेकर जाएंगे, मगर सास का यहाँ पर रोटेट करते हुए, तो अभी ऑलरेडी लेवल बन के मेरे ख्याल से लेवल 2 जब टस्कर हो तो थोड़ा काफ़ी ज़्यादा इंपैक्टफुल रहता है। विंडनेस लेकर आए हैं, और यहाँ पर आके सीधा जो सेंट्री वॉल लगाई, और सेंट्री वॉल लगाने के साथ ही साथ फटाफट उस सेंट्री वॉल को जो है समाप्त करने की कोशिश। तो ये टैंगो के साथ जो गेम चलती है, बार बार सेंट्री वॉर्ड का लगाना, और सेंट्री वॉर्ड के साथ लगाते ही जो है रोटेशन का देखना कि कौन कहाँ पर आ रहा है, किस पे हावी, उसी टाइम उस सेंट्री वॉर्ड के साथ ही साथ जो ऑब्जर्वर वॉर्ड है उसको निष्कासित कर देना और कोशिश करना कि जितना ज़्यादा हो सके अपनी टीम को जो है सहयोग देना और उसको आगे लेके जाने की कोशिश। तो बट ये फार्म करने के साथ ही साथ आगे फॉलो अप करते हुए, और यहाँ पर डिनाई करेंगे, डिनाई करने के साथ ही अभी यहाँ पे राइट क्लिक डैमेज देते हुए और आगे सस्टेन थ्रू करके धीरे धीरे करके पोटेंशली आगे लेके जाना। तो बट अभी वक्त बताएगा कौन किस पे ज़्यादा हावी होएगा, बट अभी के लिए मूव यहाँ पे आगे रोटेट करते हुए और आगे धीरे धीरे करके सिकी ने पाम के साथ ऑलरेडी मैजिक वॉन्ड के अंदर 10 चार्जेस है, तो बैट राइडर अभी इनिशिएट नहीं करना चाहेंगे, तो क्योंकि 20 मास्टर को शट डाउन करना भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा मुश्किल होता है, क्योंकि बोर का इस्तेमाल कभी भी कर सकते हैं, और जब तक वो बोर है तो धीरे धीरे करके सैम एच को रोकते रहेगा। और यहाँ पे पॉइजन टच कनेक्ट करते हुए मिजरी के पीछे जाना चाहते थे, बट ये थोड़ा सा हेरेस आउट करेंगे पीछे पुश बैक करते हुए, मगर कुकू के लिए काफ़ी ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम होती है मिड लेन पे, हालांकि इतनी 8 लास्ट ले चुके हैं, मगर यहाँ पे जाके बोल रहा था फायर फ्लाई का इस्तेमाल करते फर्स्ट ब्लड लेके जाएंगे, और यहाँ पे मैजिक वॉन्ड सैम एच बिल्कुल भी नहीं छोड़ना चाहते और आ गए, और वहाँ पे आके क्लैरिटी पुश एंड 20 मास्टर के लिए काफ़ी ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम, और वहाँ पे आके उनके बोर को फटाफट समाप्त कर दिया। यहाँ पे आके आई चार्ट लगाते हुए पीछे आके रिप्टाइड कनेक्ट करी और स्नोबॉल करके लेकर गए, और स्नोबॉल करने के साथ पीछे शार्ड्स के पीछे रह गए, और अगर आगे रहते थोड़ा सा शार्ड्स के तो मेरे को लगा था रेवन की किल पक्की मिलती है, और यहाँ पे ड्रो रेंजर को शट करने में कामयाब रहते, मगर यहाँ पे खूब लड़ते हुए ड्रैगन नाइट के साथ वी के पास माना नहीं है, यहाँ पे माना का प्रयोग करने की ज़रूरत उनको, और ज़रूरत के साथ ही साथ जो है आगे इसको फॉलो अप करना है, एक मैं कहूँगा रणनीति का प्रयोग करना। तो यहाँ पे दोनों टीमें लड़ती हुई आगे, और यहाँ पे भी कोशिश कर रही जितना ज़्यादा हो सके उसको आगे कैपिटलाइज करें, बट अभी के लिए दोनों टीमें आगे पीछे चलती हुई, किसी को ज़्यादा हेफ्टी डैमेज नहीं हुआ, बट ये यहाँ पे बैट राइडर से लेना, और यहाँ पे यू फिर से आते हुए, और ये फिर से आएंगे मैजिक मिसाइल कनेक्ट करी, मैजिक मिसाइल कनेक्ट करने के साथ ही साथ यहाँ पे चिकन ने बम लगाते हुए पीछे फायर फ्लाई करके 4 स्टैक्स ऑलरेडी आ चुके हैं, यहाँ पे डैदल टीपी करके तो नहीं, टास्क आए अभी यहाँ पे टीपी करने के लिए, बचाने के लिए सोचा था स्नोबॉल में कैप्चर कर लेंगे, बट नहीं, ज़रूरत थी सांस का, थोड़ा सा लेट हो गए कैलकुलेट करने में, और यहाँ पे कोशिश कर रहे थोड़ी सी लास्ट हिट कर ले, खुद ही लेवल जितना दे सकते हैं, और मेरे ख्याल से यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा सेफ लेन में संभालने की कोशिश बचा के रखना पड़ेगा यहाँ पर, क्योंकि सेफ लेन यहाँ पे बैट राइडर है, और बैट राइडर का इतनी जल्दी जो कि उनको सोलो लेन और उनको फार्म मिल रहा है वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा खतरे की घंटी हो सकती है। 26 लास्ट हिट ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं, और वहाँ पे खाली केवल मात्र 20 मात्र को 6 लास्ट हिट मिली है, और यहाँ पे ब्लॉक आउट करते हुए रेवन को फिर से अपनी इल्यूजन में थोड़ा सा हेरेस आउट करने की कोशिश, मगर पता है कि असली रेजोल्यूशन कौन से, और यहाँ पे धीरे करके रेवन डैमेज देते हुए, बट कुकू आगे बढ़ चढ़ के खेल रहे हैं मिड लेन में, और कोई बिल्कुल बेखौफ, और यहाँ पे सास्का मिलेंगे, यहाँ पे वे आउट टेरर निकालते ही यहाँ पे मैजिक मिसाइल कनेक्ट करने का माना नहीं, और यहाँ पे आई शार्ट का प्रयोग किया, पीछे देखा विजन मिली और सीधा क्रीज के अंदर जाने की कोशिश सास्का की, और अपने आप को बचाने की कोशिश करने, मगर बचाने में नाकामयाब रहेंगे, और यहाँ पे तीसरी किल आती हुई TNC के हाथ में एक एक करके सारे के सारे पिकआउट होते जा रहे हैं, और मैं कहूँगा बड़ी ज़्यादा गलत टाइमिंग जब भी कहीं पे रोटेट कर रहे हैं, और यहाँ पे बैट राइडर के पास जो है ऑलरेडी ड्रामा ऑफ एंड्योरेंस की जैसी बात है, मैजिक मिसाइल कनेक्ट करी और पीछे जाकर थोड़ा सा हेरेस करने की कोशिश यू, मगर वहाँ पे अपनी वेव फॉर्म का इस्तेमाल करना नहीं चाहेंगे, और यहाँ पे सेल्फ इस्तेमाल करने में जो है मजबूर कर दिया ड्रैगन नाइट को, और धीरे धीरे करके आगे फॉलो करते। तो ड्रम्स ले आए हैं यहाँ पे बैड राइडर, और ड्रम्स के साथ ही साथ थोड़ी सी आपको जो मोबिलिटी मिलेगी, और मोबिलिटी मिलने के साथ ही साथ आपको जो सस्टेनिंग पावर जो है उसको आप पूरा इस्तेमाल कर सकते हो। तो यस, अभी के लिए थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा, थोड़ा सा बैकफुट पे मेरे ख्याल से टीएनसी को जो है रखना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि यहाँ पे ज़्यादा आगे इनिशिएट करने नहीं देंगे। यहाँ पे डीमन के ऊपर जाते ही सीधा रोटेट करके गए स्नोबॉल करके, और यहाँ पे शट डाउन करना चाहेंगे। और यहाँ पे नागासैन बोलते यू फीड द फिशेस, यहाँ पे फिशेस के साथ उनको फीड करते हुए तो फाइनली स्किल बोर्ड, मतलब बोर्ड पे किल का आता हुआ, और धीरे धीरे करके जैसे ही स्कोर बोर्ड पे किल आई है उसका पूरा पूरा प्रयोग करना चाहेंगे और उसको आगे लेके जाना चाहेंगे। बट अभी के लिए वी यहाँ पर खड़े हैं, वी आते हुए वेव फॉर्म करके गए अंदर, वेव फॉर्म करने के साथ ही साथ पीछे जाते हुए फॉलो करना चाहते हैं, और वी को काफ़ी ज़्यादा डैमेज दिए। मगर वी के पास अभी जो है मेरे ख्याल से कितने बॉटल चार्जेस पड़े हैं उनके पास, अल्टी उनकी आ चुकी है, बॉटल के अंदर कोई चार्जेस नहीं। रून का इंतज़ार करेंगे 6 मिनट का कि नहीं, और लेने जाने की कोशिश होगी उनकी रून को, मगर रेवन यहाँ पे फार्म करते हुए इल्यूमिनेट का प्रयोग किया है। इल्यूमिनेट का प्रयोग करने के साथ ही साथ आगे कैप्टलाइज करते हुए, और मिजरी यहाँ पर खड़े हैं आगे पुश करते पूरी की पूरी टीम रेडियल क्योस की। और रेडिंग सेट का बॉट का टियर 1 टावर प्रेशर करने में तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा है रेडियल क्योस आगे, क्योंकि उनको रोकना अभी काफ़ी ज़्यादा मुमकिन नहीं है, क्योंकि इतना ज़्यादा जब आपके पास पुश डैमेज हो और इतनी ज़्यादा जब आपके पास सस्टेनेबिलिटी हो, तो यस मेरे को लग रहा है कि एक पोटेंशियल ये बन जाती है कि आप उसके अंदर जो है थोड़ा सा पीछे रह के खेल सकते हैं, और क्योंकि टावर डिफेंड करने के लिए आपको जो है थोड़ा सा आगे आना पड़ेगा और थोड़ा सा कोशिश करनी पड़ेगी कि थोड़ा सा आगे एग्रेशन में खेलें। बट ये अभी जो टीएनसी का ड्राफ्ट जो है थोड़ा सा कुछ ऐसा है, थोड़ा अटपटा सा ड्राफ्ट है कि ज़्यादा आगे फ्रंट लाइन में नहीं खेल सकते। बट हालांकि बैट राइडर को हमने देखा ड्रम्स लेकर आ गए, और ड्रम्स के साथ ही साथ और ज़्यादा मोबिलिटी प्रदान करेंगे अपनी पूरी पूरी टीम को। जब भी वो ड्रम्स के जो चार्जेस इस्तेमाल होंगे तब जो है मॉर्फलिंग, वेंजफुल स्पिरिट, अपने रोइंजर, और जब एक बारी प्रिसीजन ऑरा के साथ जो है मार्क्समैनशिप के साथ तो एजिलिटी मिलेगी रोइंजर को, पर प्रिसीजन ऑरा के साथ और ज़्यादा डैमेज मिलता है। प्लस वेंजफुल स्पिरिट के अंदर वेंजेंस जो कि टेरर जो कि उनकी 3rd स्पेल है वो और ज़्यादा डैमेज देगी सस्टेन, और वो जो डैमेज बफ अप होते रहेगा उसको देख पाना, उसको रोक पाना मेरे ख्याल से थोड़ा मुश्किल रहेगा। तो लेट गेम काफ़ी अच्छी, मैं कहूँगा मिड गेम से लेट गेम तक, हालांकि इस गेम में हम जो भी देखेंगे 15 से 20 मिनट के आसपास बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग गेम होने वाली है। बट यहाँ पर रेजोल्यूशन को मैं कहूँगा बिल्कुल अनकंटेस्टेड फार्म है, साथ ही साथ बॉट का टावर लेने में भी कामयाब रहे हैं, और कितनी आगे जाके पुश करते हुए रेडिंग सेट का बॉट का Tier 2 टावर। अब इसको रोकने के लिए कौन आने लग रहा है, ये सबसे बड़ा प्रश्न उठता है यहाँ पर कि कौन इस टावर का संरक्षण करने के लिए आएगा, कौन इस टावर के बचाव के हित में खड़े होएगा। तो ये अभी देखना काफ़ी ज़्यादा ज़रूरी। बट अभी के लिए दोनों की दोनों टीमें बड़ा आराम से खेलती हुई, एक टावर लिया आराम से और यहाँ पे आर्कन बूट का प्रयोग करते हुए, मगर कुकू का यहाँ पे जो रेप्लिका समाप्त होने वाला, और कोरियर साथ ही साथ यहाँ पे रून लेंगे, रून लेने के साथ ही साथ मॉर्फिंग को बाउंटी रून मिलता हुआ, थोड़ा सा और एक्सपीरियंस गोल्ड मिलता हुआ। बट ये जो है रेजोल्यूशन कितनी जल्दी यहाँ पर इनका क्या कंप्लीट हो गया है, बस कोरियर से कोरियर आ रहा है रेजोल्यूशन के पास ड्रॉप करने के लिए, वहाँ पे उनको साथ थोड़ा सा ड्रो रेंजर थोड़ा सा आके राइट क्लिक खेल रहे हैं। बट यहाँ पर टीएनसी और दोनों रून को गार्डिंग पोजीशन में रखते हुए, और यहाँ पे हेस्ट रून लेके गए हैं, वेंजफुल स्पिरिट ऊपर जाते हुए गैंग करने की कोशिश, यहाँ पे स्कैनर का प्रयोग किया, स्कैनर का प्रयोग करने के साथ ही साथ देखा कि वहीं पे ही हैं दोनों, और वहाँ से जाके अंदर जाना चाहेंगी वेंजफुल स्पिरिट, मगर वॉल लगी हुई डायर साइड की, और देख ली कि यहाँ पे हेस्ट रून है, और सारे के सारे बैकआउट हो गए। वेट कर रहे थे, इंतजार कर रहे थे उनका कि अंदर आए टस्क, तो थोड़ा सा आए तो उनका हेस्ट रून के अंदर उनका काउंटर गैंग करने की कोशिश हो, मंशा उनकी यही थी। बट सैम एच यहाँ पे बिल्कुल बहुत जल्दी फार्म करते हुए, इतना ज़्यादा हाईली फार्म्ड है वो, और यहाँ पे स्टैक करते करते फिर एक और स्टैक करेंगे यहाँ पे डीमन। तो स्टैक करने की उन्होंने छड़ी लगा दी है कि नागा साइरन जैसे ही उनके पास कोई फार्म हो फटाफट अपनी जाके इल्यूजन के साथ रिप्टाइड का प्रयोग करें, और फार्म करने का साथ मेरे ख्याल से 4 स्टैक वाला जो उन्होंने फार्म किया है, और फार्म को लेकर जाके तो डीमन यहाँ से ऊपर जा रहे हैं टॉप लेन की तरफ टीपी करके आगे निकलते हुए। इल्यूमिनेट का प्रयोग करते हुए मिजरी यहाँ पे धीरे करके लेन को आगे पुश करते हुए, और रेवन को काफ़ी ज़्यादा परेशान किया हुआ, उनकी एचपी की कितनी कम कर दी यहाँ पर ड्रो रेंजर की। फाइनली लेवल 6 के हो गए रेवन, और यहाँ पर आकर जैसे ही लेवल 6 के हुए हैं मार्क्समैनशिप के अंदर प्रयोग करते हैं, और यहाँ पे आके वी खड़े हैं अकेले। वी के लिए थोड़ा सा खतरा बन सकते हैं, और मगर यहाँ पे कोई मिड लेन पे आगे रोटेट करना नहीं चाहता, और यहाँ पर आगे फाइट करते हो। ड्रैगन टेल स्टन कनेक्ट कर दिया ड्रैगन टेल, और यहाँ पे ड्रैगन ब्रेथ वेव फॉर्म करके निकलेंगे, मगर पीछे फॉलो नहीं थे। और यहाँ पे अगर टस्क होते तो मेरा ख्याल से यहाँ पे मॉर्फलिंग की किल मिल जाती, बट किसी की रोटेशन नहीं, और रेजोल्यूशन वहाँ पे खड़े हैं। 2000 गोल्ड आ चुका है उनके पास ऑलरेडी, और इसी रेट से अगर फार्म करते तो मेरा ख्याल से 13-14 मिनट में उनकी जो है ये रेडियंस आ जानी चाहिए, और उसको इजीली जो है उसको आगे फॉलो अप करके लेके जा सकते हो। बट ये अभी मिजरी लगे हुए अपना काम करने में, और यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी अपनी स्पिरिट फॉर्म अटेन करना चाहते हैं ताकि लेवल 6 के हो जाएं, और कहीं से भी किसी को बुला ले, और यहाँ पे खड़े होकर थोड़ा सा बैकआउट करते हुए कि कहीं उनके ऊपर कोई गैंग ना हो, क्योंकि ये भी बड़ा ध्यान रखना पड़ता है। वी वहाँ पर खड़े हैं, पीछे वेंजफुल स्पिरिट आती है, वेंजफुल स्पिरिट बैकअप के लिए ऑलरेडी सेट है। यहाँ पर आके वी के ऊपर जाना चाहते हैं, वे ऑफ टेरर का प्रयोग किया, मगर वे ऑफ टेरर से अब कनेक्ट होते ही ड्रैगन नाइट पे ज़्यादा इनिशिएट नहीं करना चाहेंगे, क्योंकि थोड़ा आराम से धीरे धीरे करके गेम को जो है फॉलो अप करना चाहेंगे, क्योंकि थोड़ी सी अभी यहाँ पे भूल चूक काफ़ी ज़्यादा भारी हरजाना भुगतना पड़ सकता है उसके लिए। बट यहाँ पे अंदर ब्लिंक इन किया, लैसो करके लेके आगे से मैच, और यहाँ पे ड्रैगन नाइट को पकड़ते हैं। यहाँ पे वे ड्रैगन फॉर्म खत्म होने वाली, ड्रैगन टेल स्टन कनेक्ट किया और वेव फॉर्म का प्रयोग करेंगे, और यहाँ पे ड्रैगन नाइट की किल मिलेगी, और एक और किल आती हुई TNC के खाते में। और यहाँ पर आके रेडिंग साइड का टॉप का टियर 1 जो टावर है उसको आगे पुश करने की कोशिश बीस्ट मास्टर द्वारा, और यहाँ पर अपने बोर्ड्स का इस्तेमाल करते हुए जो है डैमेज सारा का सारा क्लिप के साथ, और यहाँ पर टावर लेने में कामयाब रहेंगे। तो टावर पुश करने की दोनों टीमों के पास मैं कहूँगा कि TNC अभी हालांकि अभी टावर पुश करने में असमर्थ है, बट जैसे जैसे फार्म होते जाएंगे, जैसे जैसे किले वो ऐड कर रहे, जैसे जैसे वो गैंग का आगे जो एक रूप जो है उसको अपने टीम के लिए सशक्त करते हुए, तो वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा फ़ायदेमंद रहेगा। मगर यहाँ पे रेजोल्यूशन को थोड़ा सा रोकना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि एक बार रेडियंस आ गई तो TNC के जो हीरोज हैं, अगर हम बात करें यहाँ पे ड्रो रेंजर, यहाँ पे सॉन्ग ऑफ द सैन का इस्तेमाल किया, गस्ट का इस्तेमाल किया, यहाँ पे TP करके भागना चाहते हैं, TP भागने में कामयाब नहीं रहने देंगे, स्नोबॉल करके आए, और वहाँ पर आके TP कैंसिल करते हुए। तो यस, यहाँ पर ड्रो रेंजर भागना चाहते थे। जब भी मैं ये TP वाली कैंसिल ना होने वाली जब भी प्रेडिक्शन करता हूँ, तो ये हमेशा एक TP कैंसिल होता है। देखिए एक ही TP कैंसिल होगा, और यहाँ पे फ्लेम ब्रेक का प्रयोग करते हुए मिजरी यहाँ पर खड़े हैं, और साथ ही साथ पीछे चिकन बम स्टैक के एक और रेड क्लिक, और यहाँ पे मिजरी की किल मिलेगी। कीपर ऑफ द लाइट काफ़ी ज़्यादा आगे चले गए, और यहाँ पे फ्लेम ब्रेक का प्रयोग करके उनको वापस खदेड़ा गया फाइट के अंदर, और लेकर आए सैम एच यहाँ पे फायरफ्लाई का प्रयोग करते हुए। बट अब जिस हिसाब से मैं कहूँगा नागा सायरन का फार्म चल रहा है, उनको रोकना काफ़ी ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है रेजोल्यूशन को। एक बार रेडियंस आती है तो ये बैट राइडर का ब्लिंक मॉर्फलिंग वेव फॉर्म करके आ सकते हैं, बट यहाँ पर आके पीछे फ्लेम ब्रेक का प्रयोग किया, और यहाँ पे ड्रम्स के साथ ही साथ यहाँ पे स्नोबॉल के अंदर लेके जाते हैं, स्नोबॉल के साथ ही पीछे गए यू के ऊपर, और यहाँ पे स्वॉप का इस्तेमाल किया, स्वॉप करने के साथ ही साथ फाइट करते हुए रेजोल्यूशन को बचाने की पूरी कोशिश, मगर बचाने में नाकामयाब रहेंगे। तो जो किल चाहिए थी, सबसे बड़ी किल, सबसे महत्वपूर्ण किल, और साथ ही साथ यहाँ पे टस की भी किल मिलेगी। तो नागा सायरन की वो रेडियंस जो है उसको स्लो आउट करना था, क्योंकि एक बार अगर वो अपने प्रॉपर टाइम पे ऑनलाइन आ जाती है, तो फिर आप अपनी इल्यूजन्स को भेज के हर जगह, हर लेन में, जंगल में, एनिमी जंगल, अपना जंगल, लेन में फार्म करने की मैं कहूँगा छड़ी लग जाती उनकी, और फिर धीरे धीरे करके आइटम बिल्ड जो है बढ़ती जाती। तो अब देखना है कितना ज़्यादा आगे उसको सस्टेन थ्रू कर पाएंगे। बट ये यहाँ पर TP होता हुआ, और ड्रैगन ब्रेथ का इस्तेमाल करेंगे। ड्रैगन ब्रेथ के साथ ही साथ यहाँ पे ऑब्जर्वर वार्ड, सेंट्री वार्ड, सब सारी वार्ड खरीदते हुए डैजल कहीं से भी नहीं चाहते कि डिजिटल क्रॉस के प्लेयर कहीं से आए, मगर यहाँ पे मैं कहूँगा सबसे अच्छी चीज़ जो है कीपर ऑफ द लाइट कहीं पे भी बुला सकते हैं अपने सहयोगी टीममेट को, और उसको आगे रोटेट करा के गैंग के अंदर फटाफट लेकर आ सकते हैं, जिससे कि सामने वाले एनिमी विरोधी टीम को शट डाउन कर सकें। बट यस, अब केवल मात्र 200 गोल दूर जो हैं हमारे रेजोल्यूशन में कहूँगा, एक बारी गैंग होने के बावजूद भी बहुत ही शानदार टाइमिंग, बहुत ही उम्दा टाइमिंग। और यहाँ पे सेक्रेट डेल लिख लिया, क्योंकि पता है इसकी काफ़ी ज़्यादा ज़रूरत पड़ने वाली है फार्म करते हुए। और यहाँ पर आके स्मोक आउट डिसीड करके जा रहे हैं, फिर से फाइट करने की कोशिश टीम TNC द्वारा। TNC रुकना नहीं चाहती, पता है कि एक लय पकड़ी हुई है, और यहाँ पर अगर थोड़ी सी लय छोड़ दी तो वो थोड़ी सी गलती हो सकती है। बट यस, यहाँ पर ही उसी टाइम जैसे ही देखा, यहाँ से अगर रोटेट थ्रू करके मिड लेन पे आते हुए ब्लिंकिन करके गए, लैसो पकड़ लिया, यहाँ पर आके मुंह को पकड़ के लेकर आएंगे। 20 मास्टर को शट डाउन किया जाएगा, और यहाँ पे फाइनल को शट डाउन करने में कामयाब रहे। 9-3 का स्कोर होता है, और बड़ी समझदारी के साथ अंदर जंगल के रास्ते से गए और देखा पूरा रास्ता एरिया स्काउट किया, कोई आसपास कोई नियर बाय अलाइ तो नहीं है। और जैसे ही मौका मिला वैसे ही शट डाउन कर दिया वहाँ पे 20 मास्टर को। तो ये अब वेव फॉर्म का प्रयोग करके इल्यूमिनेट लगाया, इल्यूमिनेट लगाने के साथ राइट क्लिक डैमेज देते हुए और यहाँ पे फ्लेम ब्रेक का प्रयोग करेंगे और यहाँ पे स्नोबॉल करके अपने सहयोगी टीममेट को बचा लिया और यहाँ पे स्नोबॉल करके लेकर जाना चाहते थे और क्रीप पे किया स्नोबॉल और फटाफट बचाने में कामयाब। यहाँ पे स्वॉप करके लेकर आई इवेंचुअल बड़ा ही शानदार स्वॉप और यहाँ पे सास्का की किल मिलेगी और किल मिलने के साथ ही साथ सास्का को शट डाउन कर दिया और बड़ा फास्ट में कहूँगा पुश आता हूँ मिड से साइड पे टियर 3 के अंदर और यहाँ पर जो है विकेट से खोते हुए AS टीम सैमेज। तो ये मेरे को लग रहा है कि डिजिटल क्योस एक पेज पे नहीं खेलती हुई, सारे के सारे कुछ ना कुछ अलग परफॉर्म करने में लगे हुए हैं। और यहाँ पे मिड का जो अंदर पुश करने का जो ड्रो रेंजर के साथ जो आपके पास डैमेज है, देखिए कितना ज़्यादा डैमेज है कि यहाँ पर जो टावर है मिड का टियर 3 टावर, उसकी आधी HP कर दी। अभी ड्रो रेंजर के पास कोई इतनी ज़्यादा आइटम ही नहीं है, हालांकि अभी उनके पास केवल मात्र ओवर क्लब है और 2 रेत बैंड और रेत बैंड के साथ ही 2 जो एजिलिटी के साथ जो उनको डैमेज मिलता हुआ 129 प्लस 40, वो कितना ज़्यादा मैं कहूँगा फायती होता हुआ और कितना ज़्यादा नुकसानदेह होगा। बट यहाँ पर आके फिर से गैंग करने की कोशिश और ड्रो रेंजर के ऊपर जाना चाहते हैं। क्या ड्रो रेंजर वहीं पे खड़ी रहेगी फार्म करती हुई, अब ये तो वक्त बताएगा। बट अभी के लिए वहाँ पे ड्रो रेंजर के लिए नहीं गए और यहाँ से सीधा रोशान के लिए चले गए और 2 बोर का इस्तेमाल करते हैं। अब ये बहुत बड़ा टर्न अराउंड हो सकता है डीसी के लिए और यहाँ पे कोई दूर दूर तक चेक करने वाला नहीं है, मगर इतना ज़्यादा डैमेज है क्योंकि इस रोशान को इतनी धीरे धीरे टेक डाउन किया जा रहा है और वहाँ पे अपने जंगल के अंदर फार्म कर रहे हो। यहाँ पे स्कैनर का प्रयोग जो है वो भी नहीं करेंगे और यहाँ पर फार्म करते करते धीरे धीरे करके जाते हैं। वहाँ पे गैंग करने की कोशिश, आधी ज़्यादा HP कम कर चुके हैं और यहाँ पे अपनी नेक्रोनॉमिकन का प्रयोग करके जब तक सोचेंगे कि रोशान किया जा रहा है तब तक काफ़ी ज़्यादा देर हो सकती है। और यहाँ इल्यूजन को भेजा जा रहा है, इल्यूजन जाके चेक करेगी स्काउट करती हुई कि रोशान कर रहे हैं कहीं, तो नहीं वो रोशान भी नहीं, वो उनको अपने जंगल में भेजेगी चेक करने के लिए कि कहाँ पर है। और यहाँ पर आकर डायर साइड के पास एजेस ऑफ मोर्टेलिटी आती है और एजेस मेरे ख्याल से दी गई है जो कि हमारे ड्रैगन नाइट को, और ड्रैगन नाइट को देने के साथ ही साथ उनका पास ब्लिंक डैगर भी विकसित होता हुआ। ब्लिंक डैगर आ गया है तो ब्लिंक करके इनिशिएट करना चाहेंगे। मेरे ख्याल सबसे पहले बैट राइडर को शट डाउन करना चाहिए क्योंकि बैट राइडर सबसे बड़ा मैं कहूँगा एक रोल प्ले मॉडल बने हुए हैं और जो कि स्वॉप करने वाली विंगफुल स्पिरिट, क्योंकि अगर आप सपोर्ट को समाप्त कर देते हैं गेम के अंदर तो मेरे ख्याल से आपके पास कुछ शेष बचता नहीं है। आप आराम से इजीली जो है उसको आगे फॉलो अप करके अपना आराम से उसको आगे कैपिटलाइज कर सकते हैं। बट यस अभी के लिए यहाँ पे डायर साइड का टॉप का टियर 1 टावर जो है फाइनली इसको पुश आउट किया जा रहा है और पुश करने के साथ ही साथ जो है चाहेंगे कि उस टावर को समाप्त करें क्योंकि टॉप लेन बार बार पुश इन हो रही है और सारे के सारे टियर 1 टावर इतनी जल्दी ले गए थे रेडियंट साइड के। अब टियर 2 टावर जो कि अभी टियर 1 टावर जो कि डायर साइड पे स्टैंडिंग और यहाँ पे स्मोक आउट डिसीड करके आगे जाते हुए पास में ही सारा का सारा माहौल है और यहाँ पे अंदर जाना चाहेंगे, क्रीप डिनाई किया और यहाँ पे टावर डिस्ट्रॉय करने के साथ ही यहाँ पे लैसो करके लेकर आते हुए और यहाँ पे लैसो करने के साथ ही सॉन्ग ऑफ द सायरन आता है मिजरी को और पूरी की पूरी फाइट को डिसएंगेज कर दिया, अपनी टीममेट को पूरे फुल कर लिया और वहाँ पे आके मुंह के ऊपर जाना चाहते स्वॉप का इस्तेमाल किया, वेव ऑफ टेरर और यहाँ पे मैजिक की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी और यहाँ पर ड्रैगन नेट शट डाउन होंगे। और मैं कहूँगा कि उस समय टीपी होना चाहिए था, टीपी करके भाग सकते थे मगर अभी पीछे जाते हैं और रोर को कनेक्ट करेंगे। रोर कनेक्ट करने के साथ ही साथ यहाँ पे सैमेज के ऊपर जाके ग्रेव लगाते हुए, ग्रेव लगाने के साथ ही चाहता हुआ इल्यूमिनेट और इल्यूमिनेट के साथ ही साथ रिफ्लेक्ट का प्रयोग करते हुए अभी फाइट समाप्त नहीं हुई और अभी दोबारा लड़ने के लिए दोबारा से रीसेट होते हुए और यहाँ पे सेंट्री वार्ड, ऑब्जर्वर वार्ड, यहाँ पे डेजल की किल मिलेगी। फाइनली बैट राइडर यहाँ पे अपनी जान बचा के निकलेंगे और यहाँ पर आके क्योंकि कुकू यहीं पे खड़े हैं और कुकू अगर ये भी किल ले पाते तो काफ़ी फायदी किल होती क्योंकि अगर मिल जाती तो, बट यहाँ पे माना ना होने की वजह से पता है 2240 और 930 गोल्ड, तो धीरे धीरे करके मैं कहूँगा ये फासला इतना ज़्यादा दरमियान आता हुआ और डिजिटल क्योस बहुत कुछ लूज़ करती हुई इस गेम में। गोल्ड, टाइम, पैटर्न, स्ट्रेटेजी, बड़ा कुछ चाहिए तो उसको आगे जो है फॉलो अप कर सके। बट यस अभी के लिए जो है थोड़े दोनों ही टीमें बड़ी समझदारी के साथ, सूझबूझ के साथ, और मैं कहूँगा रेडियंस अब आ चुकी है रेजोल्यूशन की, अपने काम पे लग जाना चाहिए उनको, धीरे धीरे करके हर एक लेन को पुश करने की कोशिश, अपनी इल्यूजन्स को आगे भेजें, और इल्यूजन्स को आगे भेजने के साथ ही साथ जो है उसको आगे सस्टेन थ्रू करने का एक मोमेंटम जो है वो मिले, वो प्रदान करे अपनी टीम को, और उसको आगे लेके जाएँ तो वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा बढ़िया रहेगा। क्योंकि अब अगर थोड़ा स्लो आउट करते हैं, क्योंकि लेंस को अगर पुश आउट नहीं रखते तो लेंस वापस पुश आउट करेंगी, और जब भी पुशअप करती है तो एक प्रोबेबिलिटी मिल जाती है उस बैट राइडर को। और यहाँ पे सबसे हाईएस्ट नेटवर्क पे तो चलते हुए जो कि है रेजोल्यूशन, बट उनके ऊपर काफ़ी कुछ मुतसर करेगा, अपनी टीम का पूरा कारोबार और दायरा उनको सौंपा है, और ये सबसे बड़ी ज़रूरत वाली चीज़ होगी, ज़रूरतमंद रहना पड़ेगा उनको अपनी टीम के लिए। और जब भी हो सॉन्ग ऑफ द सायरन के साथ जैसे पिछली बार डिसएंगेज करवाया उनको, तो ये तब भी मगर 3 प्लेयर खो दिए उस प्रोसेस में, और थोड़ा ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा। मगर यहाँ पे माना काफ़ी कम है रेजोल्यूशन का, और टॉप पे रेवन आगे पुश करते हुए, डैजल उनके साथ खड़े कि अगर कहीं गलती से गैंग हो गए और शैडो वेव का प्रयोग करेंगे क्रीप वेव को हील करके लेकर आते हुए, और यहाँ पे बैट राइडर अपना फार्म करने में लगे हुए हैं, और ये लेकर की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि अपनी और आइटम में जल्दी ऑनलाइन लेकर आएँ। देख लें अगली आइटम क्या बनाना चाहेंगे बैट राइडर, मेरे को देखना पड़ेगा क्या बनाना चाहेंगे। रिंग ऑफ फोर्ट साफ इनके पास ड्रम बनाई थी इन्होंने, फिर रिंग डैगर फोर्ट साफ इनकी गो टू आइटम बिल्ड है, और अब मेरे ख्याल से शायद मे बी लिंकन फेयर हू नोज। मगर अभी के लिए यहाँ से ट्रेडिंग साइड का बॉट का T2 टावर लिया, सारी की सारी टीम डिसएंगेज करेगी, स्पेशली वो ड्रैगन नाइट, क्योंकि उनको पता है कि अभी और ज़्यादा फार्म होने की आवश्यकता है। और यहाँ पे कीपर ऑफ द लाइट कहीं रिकॉल करते हुए, और रिकॉल करके ले गए नागा सैरन को, और यहाँ पे फाइनली जो है फ्लास का कोशिश कर रहे हैं। सास्का का मैं चाहता था कि काफ़ी ज़्यादा जल्दी थोड़ा एग्रेशन में खेलें, क्योंकि डिजिटल कॉस के सामने के अंदर हैं, और थोड़ा काफ़ी ज़्यादा एग्रेशन के साथ जो है वेंजफुल स्पिरिट को मेरे ख्याल से सबसे पहले समाप्त करने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि वो स्वॉप बार बार गेम के अंदर बचाया जा रहा है। और या अगर बैट राइडर किसी को जो है लैसो करें तो उसके साथ ही छलांग मारते हुए सबसे पहले स्नोबॉल में लेके वो थोड़ा तो एडिड टाइम मिलता है, उसके अंदर उनको बचाए रखे, फिर जाके अपने स्नोबॉल का प्रयोग करें, फिर आई शॉट। बट यस अभी के लिए काफ़ी कुछ निर्भर करता हुआ जो कि हमारी नागा सायरन के ऊपर। अब नागा सायरन काफ़ी अच्छा फार्म सकती हुई। यस चार्ली भाई, मेरा इंटरनेट नहीं चल रहा था, मेरे को लग रहा था आज भी मेरा थोड़े इंटरनेट में इश्यूज है, बट ये अभी के लिए थोड़ी सी स्ट्रीम ठीक चल रही है। इफ़ आई हैव सम रेगुलर फ्रेम ड्रॉप्स गाइस देन आई हैव टू शट डाउन द स्ट्रीम, बट अभी के लिए इट्स परफेक्टली वर्किंग फाइन एंड इट्स ऑन पॉइंट एंड यस वी आर रॉकिंग। क्योंकि ये मैच देखने वाला जो सबसे रोमांचदार मैच है मैं कहूँगा आज का, TNC वर्सेस डिजिटल कॉस, और मैं चाहूँगा कि गेम 3 तक जाए दोनों टीम्स के बीच में, और जो भी है मे द बेस्ट टीम विन्स। और क्योंकि डिजिटल कॉस भी बहुत अच्छी टीम है, और साथ ही साथ TNC प्रूव कर दिया उन्होंने करके, और ये चीज़ जब उन्होंने OG को हराया था। बट ये अभी के लिए आगे फॉलो करो। यहाँ पे टायर सेट का बॉटम टावर लेने में कामयाब रहेंगे, टावर लिया, और यहाँ पर आके फायर फ्लैग का प्रयोग करते हुए जो है बैटर सीधे स्काउट करते हुए, और यहाँ पर आके पीछे लगाया है पुश करते हुए, मगर TNC को रोकने वाला नहीं आ रहा। यहाँ पे लैसो करके ले गए सास्का को, यहाँ पे आके गस लगाते ही उनकी किल मिलेगी, और यहाँ पर टस के पास बाय बैक है कि नहीं, टस का यहाँ पे ना होना अगले 24 सेकंड तक काफ़ी हानिकारक हो सकता है टीम डिजिटल कॉस के लिए। क्या कुछ करना चाहेगी टीम TNC? और यहाँ पे डायर साइड का बॉट का जो Tier 3 टावर है उसको आगे पुश किया जा रहा है। यहाँ पे कोई रोकने वाला नहीं है, क्योंकि पता कि कीपर ऑफ द लाइट भी दोबारा से पिक ऑफ हो गए थे, और यहाँ पे आगे फाइट अप करना चाहते हैं और यहाँ धीरे धीरे करके फिर से आगे फॉलो करते हुए टावर लेने में कामयाब रहेंगे। इतना ज़्यादा जब अटैक टाइम है, उतनी ज़्यादा एजिलिटी हो तो बिल्कुल भी अब नहीं जाएंगे। यहाँ पे सॉन्ग ऑफ द साइलेंट करके आती हुई नागा साइलेंट फाइट को रीसेट करेंगी, सेंट्री वॉल लगाई और यहाँ पे रिफ्लेक्ट का प्रयोग करके सबके ऊपर एक रिफ्लेक्ट लगाती हुई और रिफ्लेक्ट का प्रयोग लगाने के साथ जो है शट डाउन करने की कोशिश। और यहाँ पे नागा सैन की किल मिलेगी और यहाँ पे आकर रोल कनेक्ट करते हुए, रोल कनेक्ट करने के साथ ही फाइट करके जाते हुए नागा सैन यहाँ पे शट डाउन होगी, बाय बैक करते हुए, मगर यहाँ एक साइड I'll be back 1 second guys, 1 second. BRB.
I'll respawn in the next 10 seconds or so, but that's your worst nightmare. Having to help your team out this game when you have your Husk and Keeper are both pretty darn good at stalling, even the base match. The high ground, but when your Naga has to get involved and then she dies and then she has to buy back, you know you're in a really tough spot.
DC need to slow this game down if possible, but TNC, they look like they want to go faster. A Blink Dagger pick up on the Morphling, leaning more towards the lines of just straight pick off from TNC and go high again.
You can't fight into DC's position. You have to break to keep the light. You have to force them to turn around, not cast full duration illuminates, and more important, access. They see there on the back line.
They see AU blink. Oh, Given's going to be here with a gust. Goes onto the Beastmaster. AU low on life. Shallow Grave kicks in. Even time. Actually, he'll be there for the Vengeful Spirit. Even with a swap, he can't get away. So 2 supports down for TNC. Hard to break the lines now, but Cuckoo in through the rear. He has to turn around. I'm not certain about this. You're right. He'll cut free. Culling Blade up his sleeve, so he does get out, but then Raven and Sam looking to focus on him. The ball's keeping him slow. The snowball, he'll close the distance now between DC as well as Sam. He's the big one as the Batrat's done so much work already for TNC, taking a fall, and now it's DC who are on the push, attacking to the tier 2 tower. Morphling having no real influence, even if he is full life behind them.
The beginning of the fight just started off so well for DC. They went on to Vengeful Spirit and stunned the Dazzle at the same time, so they could just nab both supports. Ooh, that was a quick blink out.
This gives DC something to work with, but Cuckoo in through the side, finds the Tusker. Resolution can trigger the Lincoln Spear thanks to Ensnare. Weehaw, then the stun. Freeze ball, keeping Cuckoo low, but the Blink Dagger back off cooldown. He's just so maneuverable with this item. And then Replicant, where does he want to go? He looks down towards Moo. The Song of the Siren out. Resolution. Where's the support? It is not there. DC just want to get out of here. Straight up TP home to safety, and they know that TNC have to come back. The bot lane is pushing in too heavily, but it looks like TNC goes with the Siren up to go for Roshan.
Wow, normally like Song of the Siren's not that big of a deal, but for this it's huge. There's no way they can defend Rook without it.
Misery's trying the blending light. No one gets clear.
They have a Hawk on the side, but Roshan's too low. They're trying to call, but Morphling already having the Aegis at the mortal. Like the timing from TNC, any small mistake from DC, immediate reaction, and they she's got Roshan off of one song.
That they did. TNC. It's the reason why you can say they deserve to be at this point of the lower bracket, to have a top 8 position, fighting for that top 6 if they can win this game.
And they still have that Observer Ward on the right lane too. It's still up 1 minute. This is a really good time for them to push right now.
Yeah, has to be swapped back out again. The Raw goes eventually. The double force ups, getting AU a little way away to safety. They trigger the defensive weave too, so DC finally pumping physical damage.
Uh-oh, there are no green diamonds for DC. I don't see what's up for them aside from Dragon Knight. That's not a good sign.
Have to wait. There's 4 seconds until Song of the Siren's up. So they do have that. The Beastmaster Raw, 50 seconds, 70 seconds on his Necros too. But he did at least find that Observer Ward on bottom lane. So that is now gone. And the Necros, they can stand their ground. Actually, there's no creep wave. The mid creep wave is all the way back at the mid river. TNC's waiting for so long for this.
Morphling goes in on his rub. Okay.
As deep. He's not going to get out of this one already. They've got the strength morphing up. The Walrus punch, 1 4-star, but they got another one. Cuckoo, well, he can just dance this ground and fight. He kicks the Coddle into the tier 4 towers. Cuckoo, he actually gets away with murder. Outside the base, DC can't stop him.
Yeah, he ran in with a Naga illusion, and they manually they're trying to focus it down, and he just comes in. That was so deep.
It's crazy that he's getting these kills too. Like, it shows you how weak the Coddle is. When you don't have E-Blade, you have a Lincoln Sphere, Hurricane, Morphling.
The Dragon Lance is extremely useful strategy that they're going for. Normally, more you don't see get involved until 20-25 minutes, but he's been involved all game.
Seems to be great ways to kite too. Like, it's the perfect combination with these, like, Staff and Dragon Lance into the Hurricane.
They're showing up for late game. They have the Morphling already. They have the Maelstrom on Drow Ranger. Really just like the Axe first for the Maelstrom. I think the way better progression is Maelstrom first into an Axe.
We've seen this multiple times throughout even just playoffs. But this seems to be the build they lean towards.
Do have a replicate of the Bat Rider, so maybe Cuckoo trying to look for a pick off that, especially if Tusk or someone else wants to go on that. DC, they still need more time. I think one of the more important items for them is to keep the light Ags, so they can actually win a team fight off the heel and split push additional lanes with a permanent recall.
You'll need time to farm that up, and where's he going to get it? Like, inside of his own jungle? Want to stack farm there when TNC are moving as heavily as they are? Just like now, they smoke maneuver down the mid. That's what the replicate is there for. It allows Raven Pro to stay with him. Resolution so close. They scan inside the base. They don't realize that Resolution is there. No one took the Radiance burn.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Now on the Observer Ward. They'll find it. Song of the Siren attempted by Resolution. This is the gem of DC. Also lost.
Wow, that timing of that smoke could not have been better. However, DC.
The bottom lane, they're attacking the tier 3 towers. Sam's gonna come in, a very quick blink from Weeha. Just the fire, the flame break was in the air. Vengeful Spirit out of mana, and Weeha will get recalled. No damage from TNC, cancelled. So Misery pulling back Weeha, doing a good job. That bottom tower now down to 390.
Very timely coordination from DC too. Stun out on the BS to drain her mana, so she can't stop you. However, they're marching down mid. Still a healthy minute left on the Aegis of the Immortal.
That Song of the Sun is off cooldown, and if DC can keep them out for another 23 seconds.
Morphling has the Mjolnir buff on him.
Whoa, okay. I thought you were going to a little bit longer on Resolution. There's no fortification, but they don't want to take any chances. The bottom lane's just been pushed in. They made a replica of the Drow Ranger. That has done almost half damage to the range tracks, and even managed to pick up Sigil. Okay, finally they get rid of it.
But you can tell they were scared. They're like, oh, is he gonna replicate on us?
They need a scythe or something. This would have been a beautiful game. Something like a lion to get rid of that damn thing.
Ideally, but yeah, they were not prepared for this. And supports are really struggling to get items. Soxa and Misery both sitting at the bottom of the network chart at the moment. So another buyback extended for old Nagla Siren. She's still like decent on number 1 on net worth, but that's so much gold loss for DC. All their eggs are in the Naga basket.
TNC, 5-man again, straight down the... They have one creep alive that can turn off the back door.
So I don't really know who they jump on. If they jump the Morph, they'll throw the Mjolnir buff on him and he'll just strength Morph. And then they'll waste like after spells like DKO, PMO with Necro.
But can you jump on the Drow Ranger? At least he doesn't have magic immunity.
We'll swap the Drow Ranger out if they go on Drow. So I think it has to be like a simultaneous engagement. Tusk on 1, and then they have 3 different like stuns and range stuns at that. Oh, I guess Snowball's not really, but close enough.
This could be a better way for DC to do it. Until before TNC are properly grouped up as 5. They're fairly close together. The most obvious one is Raven currently on the top lane. Just farming up one of the illusions. Actually, Hurricane Pikes to farm that illusion up, and they jump perfectly. Raven will drop. Now they move down towards Demon. One to the next DC. They've just caught themselves to break the TPL. Resolution has the instead to cancel it. So Demon will die on the stairs. And that is some much needed room to breathe for Digital Chaos.
Careless maneuvers by the Drow Ranger and a nice smoke from DC. However, not at the best time of them. Roshan in that respawning phase. Ideally, you want to do it before Roche, but it's way too obvious if you smoke around that time. Still, I think they like continuous damage of the team fights. Dragon Knight's really struggling for items.
Once he's got the BKB, life might get a lot easier.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm wondering how long until the Morphle finishes his next. Is the E-Blade now completed on Cuckoo? So blink into shotgun. DC almost have to understand they don't have supports in these fights. Like, they just won't survive. Unless Misery sits all the way back. At least he's now like 600 gold away from having the Aim Scepter. So that's a nice thing for him. I'm looking at Resolution picking up that Ultimate Orb.
Yeah, you're really just mostly worried about the real light dying. He doesn't have Blink Dagger, he doesn't have that much HP, and he's the one that probably does the most damage in the fights. Without really much, all he has to do is just illuminate and walk away, and he can do towards 2,000 damage in the fight.
Move. Cuckoo wanted to go on him. He jumped. Replic now waveforms forward. E-Blade half the damage. It's not the kill-off move. And Cuckoo might be in a little bit too deep here. The Necro units are there burning off all the mana. So there's going to be no strength ball for Valporin. Moon lens for Raw from the tree lines. And Cuckoo pays the price. It was Dro on the top lane. Being kicked off by good DC smoke. And now it was the over-aggressiveness of Cuckoo that will pay price and give DC yet another advantage.
Soxa has to be happy about that one. It's a lot of gold going for him and gets a monster streak playing above 1,000 gold for that. So now they can get like maybe a Glimmer Cape to deal with the B.
So DC starting to get items up on the support side to get that farm we're looking for. The rest of TNC, they're still on the run here, and what? Blink, Lasso, Tuskar, got 1,000 gold, and he's going to give about almost 350. Post to throw Ranger, and they're not done yet. Demon's still in the neighborhood. Resolution does have Song of Iron if they want to try and catch up to the rest of TNC. After Demon does drop.
I bet he's wondering, how did they see me right there? You have a reserve reward right left. Not a very common one, especially this late into the game. But it's also what they use to deal with the drought, making sure the whole entire team wasn't behind.
Really smart play coming out from DC, exposing the weaknesses of TNC.
You need another gem on the Naga Siren. They lost it a long time ago. She's had to buy back twice. Everyone's trying to get the item keepers really close to his ag, just 40 gold away. And Dragon Knight only needs the item, so I guess maybe on Beastmaster, that's 5,000 gold to help us out. He could buy a refresher at this point, the most common build after Necro 3. Probably even better than a gem at this point.
The choice is there. Took 36 minutes for Misery to get it, but now it's arrived. So they get the flying vision, and yep, there she is. The refresher orb is up for move. So double roars, double necros, a lot more sustain arriving because of.
Yeah, they need double BKBs up on TNC. It's gotten to that point where ideally you want to break the without the BKBs, but now they're too farmed to snowball off your early game advantage. Now they have to play it much safer. Careful not to throw away their lead. Roshan number 3 is up. She's at the ready.
How does the clock actually look for TNC? Like, is it Roshan to Aegis and then you have to go high? Like, do they have to bring down a rank? Or is there still some good late game potential?
There's still late game because I don't. DC have a good way. DC have a good way to deal with it quick on the Morphle. They can use Manta eventually, maybe in one lane, replicate in one lane, Drow into one lane, Morphling, reinforcing one of the other lanes. And it really only not strong enough to deal with the wave. You can stall with like your blinding light, but that's only gonna do so much. And Roshan gonna be scouted out with a Hawk, but both die to the Mjolnir proc, and they will not have vision in the side the pit. There's no way you can do it without vision here.
They were too far away anyway. They could stop TNC.
It had to already be there with the Naga Siren, and she has bombed out. So she now has a gem, Diffusal Blade, but not enough money for buyback. One of the TNC's players will probably call out that, okay, she recently got Diffusal Blade, she bought back twice. There's no way that she can have enough gold. Not like completely sure, but they've been 5-man a decent amount. You might be able to expect that from TNC. So Naga and Keeper, highest priority targets for TNC.
We'll see if they can get the jump. Again, we look towards Sam. More than likely, that Bat Rider did it for TNC in the past. Had a fantastic start.
Yeah, and now they know that Mu has Refresher.
Smoke up from DC, just on the back lines, actually allows Moo to slip bounce through the top lane. He wants to jump in through the rear, now BKB up from Weeha. Moo, who's your target? He goes all the way back to the Vengeful Spirit. No swap out, but they song with the siren. It isolates the BKB target. Resolution's going down too fast. It's the BKB from Batrider, Elastic chasing him with the adaptive strike. And 2 heroes down, make it 3. Weeha down to his own racks. Moo has to just run away on Lightman. They call it GG. TNC take game number 1 against Digital Chaos.
Wow, that sleep at the end, it was BKB wars, but TNC is not strong. TNC can't fight that right there. Crazy. I really like how they dealt with the Naga Siren though. They expected it coming in from DC, and then they prepared for the Draw Ranger, and they had like, the most fantastic early game for Batrider. You got to be proud of these guys. They look happy.
That was the dream for Sam, a 10-15 KDA at the end of the game. And the unsung hero, Cuckoo, that one little bit of a misplay on bot lane as he tried to go very aggressive onto Moo. That was one of his only 2 deaths out of his 11 kills. So the Morphling, the Batrider, they had free reign of everything. The Aura strat worked up nicely for them too. Everything was just great for TNC. And Paul, man, I know only one person on that panel, our expert, backed TNC.
Yes, they did. Thank you very much, Toby. Yeah, we'll come back for game 2 and all your thoughts, of course. Thank you for the commentary in game 1. Gents, we've come outside. We've come out to enjoy the sunshine and the people out here on the green. How do you think they enjoyed game 1?
I think game 1, it was, I don't know, it was one of those games that if
Step over next to Secret Shot, Resolution. It won't fly in. In fact, they just Chronosphere. They got to cancel that TP into the mid lane. Except the fact the Axe is dead. And maybe they can actually get a revenge kill here, TNC. They find Luxa up in the trees. Lich is moving over, so Frostblast will be available. And yes, there is finally a +2 for Demon. That's his first +2 of the game. It's the first kill of TNC's game. They may actually not get out this one scot-free. Misery's not going to do enough. There's not enough rotation. They're too busy taking out the T1 tower in mid.
You know, every one of DC's heroes can set up for an Ice Blast for the AA. TNC can't really farm safely for long.
The draft panel was saying it, man. Like, DC's team fight is unbelievably good. TNC needed to win their laning phase, and like, they definitely haven't. Demon. Well, he's in trouble. Hang around a little bit. You can drop all the items you want on the ground. But now the Stomp on the Magnus. He'll go down to the Lich. It's Demon who's being chased down by Misery. Not going to happen. It was the Magnus in the mid lane who died underneath the Dire tier 2.
When we thought Jimmy had tossed aside his old ways.
He's one game up at TI. He's going to have a little bit of fun. Cuckoo, are you here for a courier snipe? Like, he's here to creep skip actually, but the courier will fly over Dire Observer Ward. Cuckoo was doing this on the bottom lane as well, trying to force a reaction out from DC so they can't just group up, rotate around and find kills.
They're mostly trying to expand on the territory that they can farm. Because Timbersaw just, he needs Bloodstone, he needs to tank up too so that he can be at the forefront of their
free kill
fight.
No way Lich can survive through that one, even with the extra curse from Demon. There's no control, the Lich will die again. That's 3 now for him.
So another game plan might change. The Alchemist has Radiance, so perhaps they can take a fight, but the items that are coming in are swift. Yeah.
Sam still needs the 200. There is an Ancient stack which you could farm up. That would give him the 200 he's looking for.
Yeah, or alternatively he has to wait maybe 30 seconds for a camp at the top, but they've had to expend a lot of sentry wards.
Here comes DC again into the Dire jungle. You can stack whatever camps you want, but it's not going to help you. It actually looks like a lot of TPs, very obvious TPs, underneath the creep wave. Cuckoo, as well as AU coming down to the Radiant Ancients. This is Sam's last bit of money, so now he does have the cash for the Blink Dagger. But the push is coming from DC on top lane, so even if TNC, like, you heavy TP'd the bottom lane, now you're going to walk up to the top to stop Moo as well as Resolution from freely taking your tier 2.
Well, they have a smoke. And they don't quite yet have the blink, but this is just so obvious. Everyone had already TP'd down on the bottom lane. They have to show one of their heroes. I think Alchemist has to show in the mid lane before they can actually make a move. TC already have very deep observer wards too, just outside the T3. Here they go.
Yeah, maybe they can get lucky. Moo is walking down into TC's clutches to blink up. They find the call with the Timber Chain, and they got enough damage. Moo, no! He'll time walk it out. The Culling Blade was cancelled by Sam at the last moment. Now the Global Silence Resolution came in to help. Moo will drop. The Culling Blade bonus. Ice Blast is on the way. It's going to hit pretty hard, but it doesn't matter when the Culling Blade can do its work. The Ember and Void losing their lives, and TNC catch a break, slowing down Misery just for a second. Cuckoo. Level 4 Timber Chain, they'll have to go over the river to find this. The blink, they get the extra movement speed. There's no tree there. Into the storm from Misery. Sam underneath the tier 1 tower with no Ice Blast. They may not want to turn and fight this one. And TNC may just count their lucky stars. They called out 2. Magnus comes over, has a blink dagger, jumps up, just beating into Cuckoo. That Echo Saber helping out for the damage. Yeah. TNC overstayed their welcome on the Radiant side of the river.
It's a pretty unique build. Maybe like with that little bit of slow at the start, you can skewer them a little bit easier, or just get solo kills without having to use RP. TNC really did not want to use Global Silence. That's like their big trump card in the team fight, at least until TC get, you know, perhaps Grease, BKB. That's also maybe a reason why he didn't go for the Tread to the Arcane boost. Maybe he wants to save that item slot for another way to get out of the Global Silence.
Just wondering how much those 2 kills have really impacted DC. Like, we still have to look at this team as, like, their timings are fantastic on a lot of their items, but the Alchemist is getting more and more space. Not having to be involved, stacking up Ancients now, like, with this Ancients going down here, he should crack around 15,000 net worth.
He can team fight, or sorry, he can split push out lanes and farm, but he can't team fight just because of getting, if he gets the armlet on, especially with the AA ulti, he's just gonna flop.
Yeah.
His HP pool is like very terrible for a strength hero.
Yeah, the team fight can come later for him, however. See, every single hero really benefits from an Aghanim's upgrade, especially the Timber and the Axe.
You saw Dire Skin come out. They skinned to the northwest of Moo in the mid lane, and it did hit.
Well, attempted blink call from Sam. Misery does feel 7 concoctions there from Raven. For once, being involved in this fight. The call, Misery just gets shredded apart by the Timbersaw. Try to stay up close. Now it's Resolution. And Zuxa, who's on the run. Timber chain again forward. Sharkram can slow him down. Concoction as well. Chaining up, and there's another kill. A double for Cuckoo.
Too many free kills for TNC. They're acting like the Magnus is behind them, because generally that's actually what does happen. Magnus 4 faces Void is just baiting out one of the supports, and then you all go into support, you all get Chronoed or RP'd, and then they all follow up. But they tested it. They checked the bait, and they saw Moo in mid, and Magnus was not there. He's had his blink for a while, but yet to connect with a meaningful RP in quite some time. And TNC, the spoils will be T1 and another jungle to claim for farming.
It's like DC is fueling the TNC fire. More and more money flooding their way, as we're showing before. Like, the golden experience is coming the way of TNC. They may lose Cuckoo here on the bot. He wants to chain out. Weehard can't keep up with him. You can skewer forward. Shockwave 1 second on cooldown, but Cuckoo's got the distance. Blink dagger in 1 second. Ice Blast, perfect spot. Cuckoo will pop. And looks like Magnus has had enough. He actually buys up a Shadow Blade, so we are really looking to get this initiation, and maybe finally we can see DC use their superior team fight against TNC.
The Shadow Blade is one of the best items versus an illusion-based Radiance carry, because...
Ooh, they're concocting? Yeah, they're coming in for this. The blink call up. Target with a double stun! Raven finding Weehar! He'll burn through him! The Alchemist finds the kill in the Ancient Apparition, and now with the Storm Misery, trying to create some space. Resolution's in here as well. Moo, Chrono's on the axe, but where is the damage? Resolution with a sleight of fist, trying to help out. The crack will come as well. The Alchemist already killed up the other Titan, but Sam is still alive. The sleight of fist Syrian Chase, Lich only will not pounce. Resolution, Spirit available. Does he want to go up? And nope, he'll go away instead. DC have had enough. No more kills going the way of TNC, but that's still a 3-for-1 trade-off, and all you lost was the axe.
Look at that Observer Ward right there, though, that set that fight up for them. That was the one that just made the Magnus, like, he got caught out in the river, and they had vision of him during nighttime because of the observer ward, and were able to connect with the stun. It was a quick blink dodge by him, but inadvertently killed his teammate.
So top lane, Raven, Ice Blast will connect, so Resolution, he can actually fight this. He needs to drop him down lower side of his steering chain, now off cooldown, and the Alchemist will finally be brought down. Ember Spirit, almost 800 gold for that kill. A much needed one for DC. One just to stop Alchemist from farming a full minute where he is just on the sidelines and no money.
And they need a lot more picks like that. Magnus going in with his new Shadow Blade. Get a kill on Cuckoo. He does have a Bloodstone, but DC looking for more.
Weehaw can't blink up at the moment. He has to wait it out.
But this is the best way to deal with Alchemist. You can just Shadow Blade past the Radiance illusions, and he has no idea, because almost all of the illusion space carries will use their illusions to scout and force you to use a smoke or something similar. In this case, Shadow Blade to bypass those. And we actually don't see it picked up, I think, often enough. I like the way that EG played yesterday and just bought tons of Shadow Blades in the late game. With the slight range decrease on the jump and through side, it becomes much more difficult to scout out for these sort of engagements.
Weehaw can't find his opening. Shadow Blade can't reach Cuckoo. He's holding right underneath his own tower. The Lich, however, feels a little bit more exposed. The gem carrier for TNC. Farming up in the lane. And now it's DC's time to maneuver. 4 heroes smoke. Of course, that dire observer ward, I believe, did actually see it. And of course, TNC, they're smoked, waiting on the hillside for DC to come in. The line was drawn by Jimmy, but they didn't go in closer. In fact, now they will come out and go to the Radiant side of the river. Dire will scan, they'll realize that DC didn't back up. Instead, they jump forward. They find the Alchemist again. They push him away from the Ice Blast. So they have to do this the hard way. Global silence will happen, but the kill has already been done. And now Cuckoo caught out of position too. He came to help, but now he's locked in time and space. There's these Bloodstone charges starting to drop, and DC starting to rack up some kills, even finding the courier as well. A quick punch, that double damage on Weehaw, and they even have silencer. Do they know? Jimmy, he's in the tree line. Moo will come in, he'll cut, and Demon caught out. Roshan he's open for the taking, as well as the tier 2 tower.
What's he doing?
He was wishing, hoping, thinking, and praying that DC would walk past him.
I was half expecting him to plant a tree to the right side, and he just trapped himself in there. No branch in his inventory though. But that was a really nice scan for DC. They scouted it out at the secret shop. Once it hits red, you know the whole team's not sitting behind the Alchemist. You can jump to Alchemist. Even if teammates help, you can catch him out with a Pacing Point. There was only one there, but let's say the whole team were there, they could easily catch him out with a Stomp, RP, and DC really flexing their muscles and showing how strong their team fight actually is. And they hasn't even really escalated to a 5-on-5 brawl, which DC would really like to do, but TNC trying to avoid at all costs with the split pushing Alchemist.
Back to farming. Resolution starting to rack up the damage. He's well, it's a mana star recipe on the courier, but it's his Chrysalis, which is also there.
Well, we may be trying to look for a pick, but he does not have reverse polarity. I think he can solo kill the Lich and or Silencer without RP. His Echo Saber. And almost Silver Edge.
Easier way to deal with the Timbersaw at that point, but Timber's also finding himself a survivability item, the Yulsep build from Cuckoo. And we're reaching the point as well where Raven's going to start the 6th slot. Like he's almost at the point where he can complete up his Octarine. And we just need to have that one armor item from him, be it Shiva's or be it AC.
Yes, but you also have to consider Ember Spirit's farm. He's actually way more farm than normal this game. And combine that with Empower, he's actually, I would say, fairly close to the net worth output of the Alchemist.
Still want to see how long it's going to take for TNC to start sharing out the Aghanim Scepter, to start amplifying these cores who had to sacrifice so much for the glory of Raven.
The Ag Scepters won't solve that much. They need additional items. You need a lot of physical mitigation versus the Ember Spirit and the Faceless Void too, who also has Mantis style. Like the right clicks are going to be pretty hard. You can do a lot of damage with the Ag Scepters, but you still need to be able to survive their team fight combo. You need BKBs, you need a lot of other items. Like ideally like hard, maybe Crimson Guard on Axe, so that you can tank up, survive the ultimates, and then force DC to maybe play a little bit later, get refreshers if it gets past 40-50 minutes.
Prepare for battle, bottom lane. Vision-wise, both teams don't really have an advantage just yet. No dire overlord on the hill. There's actually Demon walking down under the spirit of Elder Titan. Made it look like he planted an observer ward on the hillside. So Weeha is in a better position on the tree line. Acid Spray makes it a little bit more difficult to get close and blink over.
TNC are especially careful about the Magnus and Shadowblade. They've been playing very well around it. Most of the time you'll see this catch a lot of players off guard just because it's not terribly common that you do that. But no one's really gotten Silver Edge and solo killed. No one's gotten Shadowbladed and skewered back, aside from that one time on the Alchemist with the smoke.
Just smart, patient play. Now coming out from both sides. Especially for TNC to slow down this game. They haven't slowed down the experience gain, however. That's now up at around 6,000, almost 7,000 in favor of Digital Chaos. The gold leans their way a little bit. Now bottom lane, Cuckoo trapped inside that Chronosphere. Slider Fist from Resolution is there. Cuckoo, however, can Timber chain himself away. A very, very tanky Timber. Also it is one charges. A little bit too late there on the Blink Searing chains.
With no Chronosphere and no PKB yet on the Mag.
They want to fight. Concoction is being, okay, they used it on the illusions, and then the jump forward, the RP! Demon and Raven caught out, the Slider Fist burning off that little bit of life that he had, and Raven, the Licholdi, how much counter damage is there? It still bounces around. Now Resolution tries to spirit away, he's too slow, Concoction will hold him there, but the support from DC, now it can move over. After they killed off the Lich, they can look towards the cause Misery. The Storm can't actually get it down in time. Sasuke will take the gem, run away. Mu actually grabs the other gem. Starts his TP, the Concoction will fly. Mu will drop, the gem will be regathered in a 3-take-3 fight.
Whew. Some misspells there. Ancient Apparition just narrowly missed on the Ice Blast onto the Alchemist, which would surely have killed him that fight. So we actually blinks out as Demon is casting his curse, gets a very slick two-man RP coming out from them. But look at where Raven was. He was just outside the edge of that and was able to clean up these multiple heroes. At least Resolution escapes at the end of the day.
Yeah, that is the upside. Keeping Resolution away from that death counter. Because the more farm he's got, the better it is for DC. Split push becomes a lot faster, becomes a lot more efficient.
He has 6-slotted the general sense. Moonshard, maybe replace their armlet with something, but we usually see that after the Demon X.
We don't really want to have a move in for that. Demon is very, very low. He'll get a regenerating charge. And then the Ice Blast on the way up. It's going to fly over the top. So there's the chill effect. Global Silence. They're trying to keep Resolution on the front lines. It's going to be successful. 76 seconds without Resolution. He just fought the Daedalus. And Cuckoo's looking for another opening. They jumped the double chrono. It caught Sam before he could get the call off. Now Weeha, RP in 5, 4, 3. Wait for the extra 2 and 1. Then he can turn around and fight, but maybe it's too late. The Ancient Apparition are hunted to death by the Axe. Nu and Weeha are on the run east.
But that's a common thing that happens. So you're like, oh, this large team fight just happened, and sometimes you forget about the ultimate. Ember Spear forgot about the Global Silence. Demon died during the initial RP at that fight and still had it up. He does not have an anti-Global Silence build. Normally you'll see Mantis style. Occasionally you'll see Yules or BKB on the Ember Spirit, but the Mantis style is far more common. Maybe a Lotus Orb Diffusal from one of your teammates. But
Weeha, RP, how much damage have you got? Weeha, how much life have you got? Not a lot of it. As the curse, it's over on Mu. Weeha will just have to blink and TP himself out. Mu on the run. The courier flies over the top of him. And Concoction arriving from the left. Mu, time walk is up. It's like he was waiting for the jump into mid, some kind of like exit strategy, but it never really arrived.
The Curse of the Silence is also just incredibly good versus the Void, who always uses time walk and multiple time dilations if he can during a fight. And looks like TNC will dodge the AA ultimate, maybe perhaps expecting that, and
should fly to that speed upgraded.
Yeah,
because he went for the Hand of Midas early on. Now you have the Ancient Apparition with an Aghanim Scepter.
Still, they haven't actually been able to connect on too many ultimates. Even the last team fight near the mid T1, it missed.
Yep.
They have to hit it on Raven.
Is TNC having really good positioning, staying split up? With Action Timber being so aggressive, these fights become slightly chaotic in positioning.
And with Alk just being a monster, he's out on the front line, and you ideally want to hit with like a really large A box. Is it actually going to go for the... It was close.
It was too late. It was still on cooldown for way too long. As TNC repairing almost all the damage of both experience, as well as now having the advantage in the net worth. It's a fun comeback in for TNC after what was a decent start for DC. And there's a BKB, so Raven hasn't stopped spending money on himself. He buys a full BKB. I wonder what he's dropping for that.
Armlet, generally.
Well, they're having a little bit of trouble at home. Weeha attacking into the tier 3 towers. Forces the TP back from the Timbersaw. Raven will still take the tier 2 tower on bot lane. But it's like he's getting this BKB. Is it so they can go high ground? Is that what they're looking for?
I think it's so he doesn't die to the AA+. Doesn't... they don't have that much magic damage actually on their team. I'm a little surprised that he's going for BKB. Maybe so he doesn't get caught by like a stomp to... A stomp onto the Alchemist will lose in the fight. If AA still has to.
Well, he's definitely not going back. He sold the full armlet. But he's not looking to like interchange items at all.
Yeah.
And now with this Ancient second to go down, he should have enough money for a full Axe.
Who is first? I don't think Lich. Axes is marginal, so Timbersaw Silencer and a main option. I'd probably say Silencer is the best one. He's also a very high priority target in the fights. I think even the extra HP, aside from the benefit that Axe Scepter gives you to your ultimate, is valuable to him surviving.
And how long ago did Weeha start up this Silver Edge build and just abandon it halfway through?
What happened? He still has the recipe, but still hasn't committed. At least he's going for anti-BK or anti-global. Everyone on the team, I think, needs.
Need the BKB.
You don't have to get BKB. Like we see Ember Spirit, he has the Yasha now. So Manta Style's 1. We see Manta Style also on the Face's Voice. So 2 of the 5 heroes. Magnet's going for BKB. That's 3. And then Yule's on the Elder Titan. Yule's is not that great because you can't like instantly use it and then instantly use another spell afterwards. You want the ones that don't stable you. So Lotus Orb I think is a really popular choice. You can afford it.
Alright, drumroll. Demon and Sam are standing around him. The Aghanims is coming out in the courier at the moment. And it looks like the Axe is staying closer. Who wants it? Who wants it? They're pinging. Demon's pinging himself.
Yeah.
The selfish captain.
I think it's more important on Silencer. It's only between those two though. Oh, Timbersaw actually leads towards Timbersaw or Demon. I don't think you give the Axe though. Axe, it's like the culling is not that important. It's far more important that Silencer is able to use his. Okay.
Push is coming in from DC on the top lane.
Is Timber strong enough to fight in these fights?
We're gonna find out. TNC are forcing one. They're coming straight down the mid to the tier 2 tower. Top lane's already forced out a fair way. Resolution can keep going with this and then TP back, but he decided to TP back earlier. Moose also home. So be a tier 2 tower. Weeha is the man that keeps the push going.
They do this quite often, the smoke into the observer ward placement. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but TNC like
this
won a
TP
game
back.
really
It's a trap on top lane. Weeha, he's gonna try and RP this one. Pull him back. Connect on the Ice Blast into Raven. Is the damage gonna be enough to get through the Alchemist? There's the BKB actually paying off dividends. Weeha will trigger his own. They have to get out of here, but Weeha is waiting. He's still got a couple seconds left on this BKB, so he will be fine. Even if Cuckoo can cut down all of the trees on the map, it won't matter. Immunity was there to allow the TP out.
Nice item swap from out. From this.
Allows him to stand his ground and fight. The TNC now have vision inside the DC base. Their sentry ward's over on Suxa. But he doesn't have, like, there's no gems, so they're not easily going to see that ult inside the base. And he actually threw the sentry outside the base.
What happened to their gem?
Oh, I'm seeing one over on Demon, but yeah, that's the one that belongs to Misery. Demon currently has the gem.
Is the other one their stash or something? I don't actually see the other one.
It's on the courier. They use gem on the courier. Cuckoo being surrounded on bottom lane. Again, Magnus preparing. He's going to be in a good spot. Secure back the Ice Blast. Only going to get the chill effect, but that will be enough to stop the regeneration. TP support's on the way from TNC, and now it's DC having to bound the double shock him too early on the Culling Blade. This will allow Ancient Apparition to stand. He's going to use the TP out. Where's the damage to Lich ulti? It'll offer the stun. And at least they get the Ancient Apparition, but with that much support committed by TNC, you're expecting them to get a little bit more.
Timbersaw is deceptively tanking. I was like, does he really have enough items to warrant giving him an axe? But with the frost armor, they actually don't have an easy way to burst him down. They're majority physical damage right now. And with the frost armor, he'll just get reactive stacks to try and burst him down early. It's gonna take a while for them unless they hit a wombo combo on top of him.
We have patience. He's Silver Edge walked straight past Cuckoo. It was moving like he knew exactly where he was, and that's because he did have an inkling. That Observer was over near the Radiant stack. Misery gonna loop around the back of Cuckoo, heals him up, keep him out of the fight. But all of TNC is grouping up on the bottom lane. The Ancient Apparition will be up in 10 seconds time. Fortification is available for DC as well, so they can stop this push. Buy time for the A to respawn. But Cuckoo, you are really deep. He's almost a fountain, but he also almost killed off Misery. Now chained up, they'll use him. There is your Global Silence. Faceless Void dropping, trying to keep the TNC entrapped by the Chrono. Not possible. Suicide needs to be done. That Sleight of Fist, the Stomp. Lich is so low, under 100 life. One attack from the Ancient Apparition will do it. And now it's also in the corner. Sam, nowhere to go. Tries to call for the extra armor. It will not be enough. And TNC, little overconfident going that deep.
They have to kill the Ember Spear.
They're gonna fight Demon. Stomp from Misery. It's gonna take too long. Yule Scepter. Ooh, couldn't get the vision in time.
The Ember Spirit is, yeah, this is a secret that you want. It's a secret. This is the lineup that you want to go laking with. This is a secret lineup, the Magnus Ember Spirit that they used at Frankfurt Major, and this is still relevant. These two heroes are largely unchanged, and you let it get to this point where he, I think he took down 70-80% of Lich's HP with one crit.
Yep.
Your supports are gonna die, and Lich doesn't even have a Ghost Scepter, no armor. He went for a pipe instead. Deal with the AA ulti.
I still can't believe the DC basically defended that, without Misery and without the Faceless Void. There was no Chrono time. There was nothing from DC, and TNC still didn't take the tower or the fight.
Timbersaw tried to split them up. DC are strongest when they're all pumped up, TNC's all pumped up, and then someone's going to get hit at least a 2-man RP minimum or 2-man Chronosphere. But if you have the Timbersaw on the front line, and you can start disabling the blinks, you can get rid of their Yule Scepters, you can maybe force an early BKB out, and TNC can also file in around the Timbersaw, circle around them, so that you aren't pumping up as you're pushing up the hill. The way that you push up the hill normally is just suicide versus their lineup. It was a nice attempt, but it was just a little bit too deep. Timbersaw going to T4. If he had gotten the Elder Titan kill right on the spot, then it would have been great. But Ember Spirit is who they need.
He almost had it. It'll be a lot harder next time. Now that they're 4-star over on Misery, he'll have the way just to push himself outside of the chakrams.
Yeah, they need the Blink Call onto the Ember Spirit. That's something that 4-staff won't help against, and that's the lockdown.
Is Resolution going straight for Rapier? Walking around with this relic on him?
I don't really see why not. I don't think he's going to die in this one.
Well, Demon's looking to kill him off as, nope, Demon can watch him. Sleight of Fist the wave down and not have enough damage. But that Courier is making his trek all the way up to the Radiant shop. There's not enough money on him. He still needs another 200 before he can buy the full Rapier. As another Aghanim set to now gets purchased up by Raven.
I'm contemplating whether or not it's warranted at this point in this. It's warranted right now, huh?
He's already bought the Moonshard, so with the money he may as well be buying something. The only downside is he sacrifices his buyback.
Demon dropped him. What is he doing?
I don't know. What is Demon doing? Bottom lane. Oh, the Chrono is there. It holds Cuckoo in position. The Timbersaw down to half-life. Moon now has to time walk himself away. The Global Silence. They waited out. Raven gonna stun himself. If he can't get vision of somebody, the BKB will protect him. They find the Ancient Apparition with the splitter arriving from Misery. Snap him back all together with the RP. They need the cleave. Resolution's not there yet, but he's coming in. They've already lost 2. They'll lose 3 against Raven. He wants to get out of here, but the damage is too much. DC. They will take the fight against TNC.
Wow, Moop baited out that Global Silence so well. He started off with the Chronosphere, he got one of the heroes, and then he manted the last word, forcing Silencer to use his Global Silence. And then he thinks
There it is!
And then he thinks that Faceless Void is out of ways to get out of silence, but then he has a Diffusal Blade, diffusals himself, and retreats back under the help of his teammates. And now,
Alchemist spies back. Weehart just missing the skewer over on Demon. That could have been huge for him. Instead, now they concoct on Faceless Void. Enough man to time walk himself out. Resolution brings the Rapier to the front lines, but they're gonna back out. For now, they want a good fight.
That looked like it did like almost nothing to Alpha.
Yeah. He's got the Empower on him. The Empower was wearing off as he was backing out. But TNC losing that huge advantage they had. Almost 12,000 net worth starting to being repaired. DC having the experience advantage once again. Their second peak for this game.
Yeah, all it takes is like a decent team fight from them. They even jumped the Ancient Apparition very early. The Chronosphere didn't catch more than one hero at the fight, but so much upside to DVC's team fight, and that's only a glimpse of the strength of it.
So at that point, do you say TNC should just, again, go back to what they were doing before, like the full split? Or can they not do that because of the Ember?
I don't think they can do that because of the Alchemist. The Alchemist, he doesn't really have that much to farm for anymore. He doesn't have his buyback right now, but that's what you're buying time for in the early game. Okay, Alchemist is going to farm faster than anyone else, but at this point, he's going to farm faster than anyone else, but he can't really put his gold to use, so there's not really any point in farming. So they have to fight. They have to win team fights versus DC. There's no other way around it. You're not going to chip them to death with Radiant Illusions.
Well, they just smoked up. It was out of range of the Observer Ward. They do see DCs, but DC, they smoke up as well. All five men together. That Sentry Wall was being attacked in mid, and this may be enough of an inkling for DC to realize, yep, Resolution. Where are they? They're trying to find it. Weehart runs in the Silver Edge, the RP to catch out too. Sam goes in deeper, looking for the call, but he can't find the Slider Fist damage. Lich just explodes. They're looking for more. Misery with a stomp that can keep Sam in check. One move, battling up against the Timber on the side, but again, Resolution. He just hits like a truck at the moment. They jump over. Now Raven isolated. They're looking good here. There's a triple kill for Resolution. You're probably going to make it an Ultra, except other Titan will steal it, but it doesn't matter. TNC with 4 heroes down, none of them have buyback. This is at least 2 lanes of racks.
They tried so hard to look for the Ember Spear, but that's what happens when he has a power and rapier. No way you can stand against that 700 damage.
Cuckoo! Looking for the damage with the BKB to protect him. He's actually done terrible damage to Misery. The Chakrams are still down. Misery 4-staffed out of it. The Yulceptor buys him some time, some survivability. But then Resolution, crits for just over 1,000. The stop, a fraction of a second off. The Ice Blast, Cuckoo move away. It's not fast enough. The Ice Blast will take him. And now DC. Oh, they want the 2 lanes of racks. They're going to get it. But once again, they've got 2 big cores on the sideline. They can go for 3 lanes here at the moment. Because it is a 3-on-5, even if DC are injured. Demon will try and push him back out. No global silence for 45 seconds, even with that Ags upgrade offered by the Alchemist. He still has to wait for it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And DC being very safe. They know if they lost this game, they would be out of the International 2016. So no risk Dota. 30 seconds till TNC are back up to 6. Then they have to fight the Ice Blast, the Chronosphere. They've caught the Axe out underneath the tier 4 towers. Action died just sits out while the Magnus skewering back the Lich. There's too many players from TNC dying. The Lich ulti has done some work, but nowhere near enough. Not when the Ancient Apparition has now finally shattered the Axe. The Rack's almost caught. He just got obliterated. Mega's up for DC. The tier 4 towers are the only thing that protects TNC from a GG call. They will have to group up as 5 and have some miracle engagement to come back in this game.
With a Rapier on the other side, I don't think you GG out here. There's always time for the Rapier throws.
Yeah, if you can find the Ember. Maybe it's also time for a second Rapier on Resolution. Kind of needs the Manta to break free of Global.
He has enough money for a second one at this point, and they don't actually have great Rapier carries on the TNC side.
He can go the safer route. Cuckoo spot out, RP from Weehart. This could be an easy opening for them to go for deep. 74 seconds without the Timber. They can go deep into the tier 4 towers. Instead, they'll focus on Roshan. Just a free Aegis. It really doesn't take him that long.
There's not really a window that DC's giving TNC at all. They're always sticking around Ember Spear. As long as Ember Spear doesn't die, you probably should lose the game at this point.
That is a very steep climb for the DC graph. So TNC, how the hell do you defend this? You send three up, you're still looking for that observer ward of DC, which is inside the base now. They'll get rid of it.
You hope for a call on the Ember Spirit.
Magnus is slipping in. He's right next to AU, and almost with just pure physical brute damage, he'll almost find the kill, but not enough. The call holding him there. Global Stance as well, but the chrono from Moo. He broke free thanks to Manasar, keeping Raven in check. The literal drop, at least the action keeps the Magnus out of this fight, but not for much longer. Weeha just man-modes out. Raven goes for a hunt outside the base too, but he takes up, he'll concoct himself and Moo. They just surround him. It's a three-man on Alchemist Sandwich and TNC. Game number 2 goes to DC. And Demon willingly in all chat, willing game 3 to become a decider. The friends, Bitsery and Demon. DC and TNC, who goes home today?
I think mostly that was an outdraft by DC at the end of the day. The team fight was too strong. The early game, they just lost way too hard.
Everything just seemed to work as well. Like Digital Chaos, once everything came online, the Ember having so much space, the Battle Fury wasn't really slowing down, and the Ancient Apparition, we didn't really see any effect from the Ice Blast. Then the Aghanims came online, and all of a sudden, Ice Blast here, Ice Blast there. Even if a single target, it just locked the Alchemist down.
Who do you think the crowd favors more here?
I really don't know. We got a lot of DC fans right behind the commentary desk, but that's mainly because Mama Moo's back there.
Woo,
but there's definitely a lot of love for this man on screen right now, Demon. There's your Mama Moo. There's your Mama Moo. And of course, we can go to our papa, the old man of the panel. How you doing, Paul?
Hey, that's cheeky, but you're probably about right. Great game. We wanted a game 3, right? So we got a game 3. Yeah, at least that much. All right. We'll come back to you. Thanks, Toby. We'll come back for game 3, of course. Well, we said it. We said it was possible, and it's happened, Charlie.
Yeah, absolutely. It was such an outdraft by DC in that game. Even though they had some, mid-game execution sloppiness, they didn't team fight around the void as much as they probably should.
Reserve time. DC's turn to ban.
Whenever you use Metamorphosis, you wanna have you never wanna have it on cooldown. Like, I mean, off cooldown.
Do you still need another defensive hero like Oracle for the TV here? Do you think it's necessary?
I think having something like a Dazzle, something like an Oracle is always really good.
Dazzle's banned.
Alright, Dazzle is banned, then there's not that many good options because Dazzle is so strong with Terrorblade because you can just get a free Thunder off pretty much. When you have like an Oracle, you will get like Oracle ulted at half HP and your Thunder is like not nearly as effective. So I think Dazzle is actually like the premier combo with the Terrorblade.
There we see Cuckoo, who had a respectable Timbersaw performance in the previous game, but has been a bit hot and cold, I'd say, this series so far. Needs to really kind of kick it into high gear, I guess, for TNC if they want to be able to clinch the W.
Yep, so they go for their team fight Chrono, but would you think like a Tide would be better with the TB?
I mean, why I like Void TB is as soon as you get Dragonlance, you pretty much have like free reign like over the whole Chrono AoE.